No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Hello everyone, welcome to Tottenham Away. Thanks for being here with us. Another show, another episode of Tottenham's illustrious history under Daniel Levy unfolds. We've got Dan from the Hotspur Hood, we've got Sava from Football Heritage. I put a link to their channels in the chat. Like, subscribe, make sure you follow them. How we doing, boys? We good? Excited for the future? You buzzing after that fan forum?
Same Spurs, different day, isn't it?
Same Spurs, different decade. Like, I just wish there was a way that we could infiltrate these fan forums and actually have some proper fans with tenure to be there and actually ask some questions. But yeah, looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Carabag, very exciting times. Very exciting times.
We're going places. Big up to everyone in the chat. Thanks for being here. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow the channel. Make sure you also, as I've already said, make sure you follow Dan. Channel's down there. It's also in the chat. Make sure you follow Sava. Links there and in the chat. Look, chaps, there's three things I want to cover regarding the fan forum. The first one is the fans that are attending. Sava briefly touched upon it. Secondly, what was said, and let's dissect that. And finally, are these constructive or are these destructive? Because I think it causes more division than it does bring us together. So we'll get into it. But the first thing I want to talk about is, what is the point of the fan forum if it comes across? And look, I've got no evidence to prove it, but it does seem that it's cherry picked. It's a very select type of fan that's allowed to go. I mean, for crying out loud, you've got fans there, grown men with Chirpy the mascot hats on. I mean, you know, it's proper Keno stuff, isn't it? You know?
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That was you, wasn't it? That was you.
Yeah, I was in disguise. Don't tell anyone.
Someone said, "Yeah, Stell, you can come, but you're not allowed to be seen. You can't talk."
Yes, so I've got a mask. Don't worry, a cockerel. But like, look, jokes aside, you can wear what you want if you're allowed to wear what you want. But it just seems a very Keno, ultra enthusiastic audience, and the head of the trust, Spurs Supporters Trust, didn't go. It just feels to me, guys, that the fan forum is a marketing, PR, political exercise designed to feed the ego of those running the club. And I get the feeling as well, the questions are vetted, so they know what the question's going to be, so they've got time to think about the answer and prepare. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it stinks, guys, or do you think, do you know what? Look, fair play, it's their company. Let them pick who they want to attend.
I mean, look, I find it funny. Like, I don't look at it, right? I don't look at it and go, "Oh my God, this is terrible." I just think it is truly PR. How much smoke can we blow up Ange's backside, Son's backside, Levy's backside? Look, I think you hit the nail on the head, Stel. And I'll tell you a story, right? So it's a very small story. This time last year, somebody I know calls me up and says, "Sav, I might be able to get you to the Football Fan Forum." It's somebody we all know. I'll tell you guys off air. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What do you mean?" "Okay, might." And the first thing they said to me, "You're going to have to behave yourself." And I'm like, whoa, hang on. Sorry, what? Like I turn up at events and start throwing bottles and, do you know, like, what do you mean? And essentially what it boiled down to was you would have to write down what you want to talk about, what you want to ask, and then it has to go through the club channels. They vet it and then come back and let you know whether or not you can ask that question or not. And then if you ask the question that you didn't ask, you get removed. And from that moment, I was kind of like, well, what's the point? Like, why would I go? I'm not going to get the answer to any of the questions I have about the club. And I think when you look at some of the questions that are asked, a lot of it is, you know, it's really cute. You allow kids to go there and ask Son a question and blah, blah, blah. A fan forum should be for proper fans, supported the club for years and years and years, that want to have, I was speaking to Ben Kaufman this morning about this, the difficult questions. The difficult questions that make people think. Yeah? Somebody, like, I would love to ask, why did you sack Jose Mourinho 5 days before a cup final?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what I want. I want to know these things. Sorry, Daniel, could you please explain to me why the fact that we've only won one trophy in 24 years, the fact that we've now been in the game-changing stadium for 5-6 years, whatever it is, and we've just had a summer where we've bought loads and loads of toddlers. Like, I want to know, I want these questions to be up, but they're not, are they? They're not. So for me, I don't really think it matters. I just find the whole thing quite funny. There'll be people doing the exact opposite to what we're doing now, praising whatever was said, living off that vibe. And I saw you last night, Stel. I saw the clip brought up of Daniel Levy saying last year, we've got our Tottenham back, and that really awkward moment, like the kind of, so look, for me, I don't know what Dan thinks, but for me, it's just kind of, I see it as complete BS PR. Nothing comes out of it that we didn't already know.
Yeah, I agree with you. We see, I find the journalists are the same. They're controlled as well. They don't ask the questions to the club that we want to. You know, I want to know. Can you explain to me, as a fan who pays the highest prices in English football, why we signed Odegaard and Werner and not Eze, for example? I would understand what went on there. Were we even in for him? Or was it all Ange's doing? He didn't want Eze, or was the club not prepared to pay the money? Things like that, you know. and like you said, Sava, why was Mourinho sacked before a cup final? What really happened with Conte?
Yeah.
What really happened with Antonio Conte at the club? Yeah. But instead, we get, hi, Daniel. Hi, Min Son. Who's your favourite player?
Yeah, like we care. I don't care who Hong Min Son's favourite footballer is. I'll be honest, guys. I don't care who your favourite footballer is. I want Tottenham to win trophies. I don't want to know about your love life. I don't want to know about your favourite footballer. So, yeah, look, it falls into that category of it is what it is, right? It's a nothingy sham of an event.
It is total BS. The whole thing was just total crap. I mean, if, like you said, if there's a way of getting in there, write your stuff in there. But if it's all on camera and that, and then when it comes out, you ask in your comment, you actually ask the question you want to ask. How quick would they be able to remove you from there and edit that from a scene?
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure it'd get about somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the sort of thing I would have done if I could get in there. I would have written down everything they wanted or tried to. And then I'd have had the front stand there and say, right, Levy, why are we like the 6th, 7th richest club in the world, yet we don't buy big players and we don't spend big wages and we don't win nothing? I'd have said something like that to him, just blatantly in front of everyone. But like you say,
I think you're lying, Dan.
In there with roosters on their head.
I think you're lying. I think you really wanted to know who Son's favourite player was. I think that would have been your question. You would have written that down.
Yeah.
Who was it, by the way?
Ben Davies.
Ben Davies.
God, that is Spursy, isn't it? Who's your favourite player? I don't know. Maybe the player that survives the squad every single season.
Do you know the only reason I remembered the answer is because the answer was so bad. If it wasn't such a bad answer, I don't think I would have remembered it. But look, it's a cherry-picked, pre-vetted marketing political process that they've carried out. And let's actually get into the key points. I know it's been discussed 1,000 times, but it'd be good just to have a little chat about it. The first big kind of response that's done the rounds is when Daniel Levy he was adamant that criticism doesn't affect him, and it actually makes him more determined to make Spurs successful. And he says, I have a very thick skin and I just ignore it. Makes me want to be more successful. What I find interesting about this is the way this has been written. The top part says that Daniel wants to make Spurs more successful, but Daniel Levy's actual words are, makes me want to be more successful. So even certain YouTube channels are spinning it. And if you actually just read between the lines, you realize Daniel never said anything about Spurs and success. It's about his success. But even then, you can say, all right, let's say he's talking about Spurs. When he says more success, what success have we actually had in the last 2 decades?
Exactly. I mean, what is he actually trying to say with that? It makes me want to be more successful. What? Okay, we got the stadium. What? You want those hotels to be 15 floors high instead of 10 floors high, sort of thing? Is that the sort of success he's talking about? I mean, because he definitely ain't talking about success at the club and anything we've won, is he? I mean, what do you call success? For me, success in football is winning something, not just winning games. Obviously, you need to win games, but actually winning trophies. That's the whole point of sport, isn't it? Gold medals, winning events, winning trophies. But I think he's managed to damage us that much where you're even getting to the point now where fans are sort of pushing aside the trophies and that like they don't mean nothing. I mean, success, what does he really look at as success? I mean, thick-skinned, he must be thick somewhere if that's the comment.
Can we link? I mean, look, obviously, I guess we're going to talk about the other comments later on still, but when we do get to that part, you can link this comment and the other comments together where what is his definition of success? Because the word more successful, you think they knew this question was coming. They've written this. This is the equivalent of when presidents go into presidential debates. They don't make it up on the stand. Do you know what I mean? It's all written out for them. They've practiced it. They know what they're saying. It's the same with this. And I'm not saying he's a president, but they knew what they were going to say, and they've put the word more successful. The guy has won one league. But listen, I'm not having a dig. I'm just presenting some facts. We've won one League Cup since 2008. And this guy wants to talk about being successful. But what I would love, I've got nothing wrong with him saying that still. What I would love is if people were allowed a follow-up question and said, hi, Daniel, thanks for clarifying that. Can I just ask, what does success look like in your eyes, and how do Spurs actually get there? Because we've been promised success, but we keep buying youngsters, which tells us that we're actually just planning for the future and the future and the future. We're never actually trying to get there. But no one's allowed to get there. So no one's allowed to ask those questions. So for me, I guess the success he's talking about is all business. And he has been an overwhelming success. He has been an overwhelming success. He has taken a football club that he paid, 17, I don't know, what was it, 18 million, 11 million, I don't know, whatever it was.
It was about 100, it was about 100 mil.
No, it wasn't. It was nowhere near that. It was like 19 million from Alan Sugar.
I think I've got it here. In January, Enoch bought a 25% stake in those Glasgow Rangers.
That's Glasgow Rangers. Honestly, he bought it for. I'll look it up on Wiki in a minute. Right?
I don't know, but it's a lot cheaper than what it's worth now. Right. A hell of a lot cheaper.
He's taken this from a club that's under £100 million to a club that, if it was to float and somebody bought it, you're looking at 4 to 5 billion because of all the revenue that comes with it. From that, you turn around, and when that man walks away, he can get out a cigar, sit on the beach with his flip-flops and go, I've absolutely smashed that. But us as football fans, we sit there and go, all right, what success? So it's success to him versus success to us. Yeah, people in the chat saying like it was 22 million pounds. Like that's crazy. So on that front, genius. On that front, he's a genius. On the front that all these fans still 24 years later can't blame him for stuff, genius. I actually commend him still, as much as we don't like him from not a personal point of view, as we don't like him as an owner. I actually have so much respect that this guy does what he does. Yeah. And nothing changes.
Gets away with it.
He is a genius. He's a genius. He has transfer windows like that. And then we have fans going, poor, the process. Look at the best young players in the world. What do you do? At what stage, like, I don't know, for you guys, what stage did it stop being anger and you just went, oh, whatever? Like,
I think
when we signed Timo Werner the second time, that was me. I don't get angry anymore.
Yeah.
Oh God, mine was about 15 years ago, mate.
Oh no, I think I was still angry. Yeah.
That Arsenal game for me said it all when we conceded the goal, and I was more pissed off that I wasn't pissed off. I mean, for me, that's where I think it finally shows, like, get on with it.
Yeah.
I agree with Sava. In terms of buying a company, 50, 100xing it, whatever he's done, now being worth an absolute fortune, the ability to cash out and go sit on the beach with your flip-flops and pina coladas for the rest of your life, knowing that you've completely brainwashed a fan base into facilitating you becoming super wealthy, whilst in return you get nothing but a shiny new stadium, all right? and that's something that you applaud, as opposed to watching Arsenal win FA Cups, watching Arsenal rebuild and challenge for a league title, watching City win trophies every year, Chelsea every year, the worst Man United team still winning trophies, a Leicester City who, let's be honest, we are bigger than Leicester City, but they've outdone us. Leicester City have outdone us when it comes to trophies. We can't deny it.
So have Wigan.
Wigan, Portsmouth, yeah. I think Leicester, though, winning the Premier League and then the FA Cup a couple of years after proves that, well, hold on, that Premier League, you call it a fluke, but what about the FA Cup 2 years later? How's that happened, you know?
Yeah, it's mad. Look, as I said, you know, people talk a lot of, I mean, Spurs, I think we're very lucky, right? I think we're always wrapped into this Big Six conversation. I love this. I mean, essentially, it doesn't mean sod all, does it? The Big Six. We're sort of wrapped into this, but the Big Five of the Big Six don't really count us. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like if you actually watch the Big Six that Turkish hosts, right, on his channel, you know, like
Yeah, Toby just gets laughed at. Toby just gets laughed
Toby,
at.
who I love, by the way, friends with Toby, speak to him regularly, great guy. He takes so much stick because they're all going, right, what's the best trophy you've won in the last 20 years? And they're all going, oh, mine's the Champions
That's why he
League.
gets laughed at, because he's not really in the conversation. He's not in that conversation.
Yeah. But what I find more hilarious about it, and again, Ben Kaufman said this today, and I truly believe it. He said on my show, the arrogance that comes from our fan base is astounding. For a team that wins nothing, we go into big games with this arrogance that 8 of ours get into Arsenal's team. People going, oh, Man U are nothing, not worried about going there. No, I'm not saying Man U are brilliant, lads. But we've won 3 away games also in 2024. I sent you this still, right? We've won 3 away games in 2024, Dan. Do you know who those 3 away games are against?
They've got to be weak. I'm sure we beat Nottingham Forest away, didn't we? Was it 2-0?
Yeah.
It's not Forest. It's not
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I really can't remember.
Right.
Aston Villa. We beat Villa.
Yeah.
So Villa's the good one. Villa's the good
I was
away.
trying to remember whether it was Villa home or away. They done us at home when we should have beat them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Villa.
I'm not going to guess this.
Coventry.
I'm not going to guess it.
The other night.
Oh my God! Really?
Right. and Sheffield United, who were already relegated on the last day of the season. Right.
Yeah. Well done. Last game. Yeah.
That's what we do, and then we sit there and go, "I'm not worried about Liverpool. We can finish above them. I'm not worried about playing Arsenal. I'm not worried about Man United. Chelsea is shit." Blah blah. It's just like, what? What are we doing here? So I'm just at the stage where I'm just finding the whole thing very, very funny. So, meh.
This whole thing is like going back on the Daniel Levy thing. I mean, I have to be careful how I put this. So, this club reminds me of Russia, sort of thing.
I have to be careful what I'm going to say. We're Russia.
And what I'm going to mean by this is he's managed to get it in such a way that the majority, I mean, I can't go giving exact percentages here, but I know it's a lot higher on one side than it is the other. So let's just say I say 70%, just for the sake of the situation.
That sounds right.
Is willing to force basic suppression, I think is the word, onto the other side. And he's managed to do all this. And that is one country that it definitely happens in. You can't say the wrong words or otherwise baked potato. See you later. And that is literally what it feels like. We've got that one man at the top, one and only who says anything. What he says goes. And he's managed to turn, the majority of the fan base onto the other side, even though I know you can split it up into about 6 different parts of the fan base. But like the other side, it's like we're almost not allowed to say anything.
He's a genius.
Done it.
He is, Dan. He's a genius. As much as do you know what? And it's okay. It's okay to admit people you don't like are very good at what they do. And this guy is bloody good at it. He's managed to build a £4 to £5 billion empire without actually having any tangible success on the football pitch, and fooled an entire fan base. Not an entire, you know what I mean? The majority of a fan base into thinking he was good. After my show today, I've got people going, but Sav, look at our average league position before Levy and without him. And Stel, I always remember you posted that chart. Do you remember? You posted that chart. And I believe it was something, this one. If we actually, let me get my bearings. If we actually look at the average league position for the 20 years before Daniel Levy, it was 9th, right? But look at the Look at the trophies in those 25 years. Now, are you swapping? If I'll ask you to this, are you swapping 25 years for an average of 9th, but winning 5 trophies, of 3 of which were FA Cups, 1 was a European Cup, for average of 6th and 1 trophy? By the way, only 1 year of difference in the top 4.
Yeah, Sava. See, this is. I use that chart. Big up, Eugene. I big up this chart. I bring up this chart whenever I try and say to Spurs fans, stop comparing the 90s to Levy. Stop doing that. I don't want to hear the 90s. The 90s were 10 years. This man's had almost 3 decades, right? This man's been in charge for more than half of my life, okay? So, and I'm not a young man. So he essentially, in 25 years, that's why I did this chart, because this year is a 25-year comparison. And when you look at it, all he's done, he's moved the metrics where the money is. Europe, top 4, that's where the money is. So the money dial's moved nicely, but the trophies, he's not interested. And it's backed up by this. We'll go into the next comment that he came out with, which was, so he was asked for his top 3 achievements. And what's scary about this, guys, is he had time to think about it. He had time to plan his answer. He's literally taking the piss out of us now. He's literally thought about it, and he's thought, what can I get away with that pisses them off for saying Levy out and moaning, right? And his answer is reaching the Champions League final, which we lost, opening the new stadium, and honoured and blessed to have had amazing players at the club. Guys, can I tell you how I interpret this? His top 3 achievements are financial. The Champions League final, that run earned him 120 million. The opening of the new stadium has made us the 8th richest club in the world. And these amazing players like Bale and Kane and whatnot, how many hundreds of millions is that? Right? All his achievements are money, money, money. And I think he shot himself in the foot where not mentioning the League Cup, he should just mention it. It just proves, like, I don't see it as an achievement winning a trophy.
How did it not make the top? Listen, I'm not saying it has to be first. For me, it would. For me, it's first. But the fact that the one day he's had of success in his career at Tottenham, the one day of proper football success, doesn't make the top 3. But again, people will find a way to absolve him of this, won't they? They'll find a way to. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing.
The question is, though, what answers could he have really given if we're going to be realistic here?
He won a trophy.
He won a trophy.
I get that, but to go and say that your top success has been to win a League Cup, that's going to make it look even worse. I know it is. I'm not debating that. But any other fan of a lot of other clubs would look at that and just think, you absolute toss-up. Your top success in 25 years. I know it is. I'm not debating it.
Dan, that's what he's done,
but
mate.
He hasn't got much to put on the plate, has he?
Dan, as chairman, as a chairman, what is your objective for a football club? What do you ultimately? What do you want the football? Right. So the one time you achieve the objective, you don't list it. What does that say about him?
I totally get it. I'm not debating it.
He's literally sat there and done this.
Dan's gone Levy in. God, Dan.
Guys, I got one thing to say, right? He did say, right, I got thick skin and it doesn't bother me and I will ignore it. Remember last season when his wife touched his knee? Oh, honey, please don't get emotionally affected by all this Levy out chance. Come on, guys. We know this, right? Our fan base is his perfect demographic. We are pussies. Yes, you know, our ambitions are low. We want to watch good football. It's all about the entertainment. So we are accepted because he is churning out that PR, BS all the time. The deflection, the distraction. Ange comes in. We can't lose Ange now. If we lose Ange now, we're going back to that cycle again. 5 managers in 4 years or 4 managers in 5 years. It doesn't work, guys, right? We have to stick with it until our balls turn blue. You get what I'm saying? Just listen to that. Wake up, Spurs fandoms. The other clubs are laughing at us. They all can't see it. Why? We get mocked, right? We are Spursy. We are the only club that has a tag. That means losers. And Ange comes out
In the
with a
dictionary.
statement.
It's actually
Right?
in the
And it's in the
dictionary as well.
dictionary. It's been accepted. Guys, isn't that fucking embarrassing? Wake up. If you want the business, all right, that's your opinion, your luck. But we are fans who want trophies. We want success. We're a big six business, not a big six club. Remember, every time nowadays, everybody says we are the big six business. It's so sad.
But the problem is we have
about this.
We have a portion of this fan base, though, Eugene, that don't care about trophies. How many people have you heard say not bothered about? Like, we say things like, remember I said earlier about arrogance? We say things like, God, what the Mickey Mouse Cup? I'm sorry, a trophy we've not been able to win for 16 years, and we're going to call it the Mickey Mouse Cup. Like, why don't we win it? Then we can go, all right, we've done that now. Don't worry about that. We can go. This is the problem.
But when we say they're deluded, right? They got offended. Then they come back, right? And say all those bad things and do all those, bad comments and get personal and all that. But the reality is, right? They don't want to wake up because they're in this, Stockholm syndrome kind of, you're trapped in this bubble. You can't get out of it. We can't go and say that, okay, tomorrow we're going to support M-City, right? Which a lot of people last season, remember? We wanted to lose to M-City, so Arsenal didn't win the club. Go and support M-City, right? And we played along with that.
Do you know what it is? I just think that we are now at a place where so many fans are comfortable with top six and having a new stadium that for them, they're scared that if Levy goes, no one else in the world, there's no other ownership or chairman or board that can come in and not just maintain it to keep their happiness alive, because that's, a lot of fans are happy with how we are, but to take it to the next level, they're scared that no one else can do it. So you just got to keep Levy and just wait and wait and wait. And they're just too scared to challenge him. They're too scared to say Levy out. They're too scared to take action.
What?
And that's why, Eugene, that's why he handpicks who's in the forum, because he knows if he opens the door to the real fans, he would have been told by the club, if you open the door,
he's in trouble.
You're really up against it here, because there's a lot of fans that have got. Look, for example, look at this super chat here. Big up to Artist. This is the kind of question he'd get. Why didn't you trigger Eze's release clause? By success, do you mean money?
65 million pounds, right? 65 million pounds.
Yeah, but look, but the next part of the question: by success, do you mean money wise or footballing wise? He knows that he'd have to deal with this, and he doesn't want to do it. So these by the way, thank you for the super chat, Artist. So I just think he's only going to say what he knows he can get away with, right? And what he said is a joke, but he's going to get away with it, right? No one's going to challenge it. No one's going to go and storm the building.
Well, he's been getting away with it for 25 years, or 18 years, 16 years.
Because of the fan base. Look, I'll say this straight as it is. I mean, I don't watch many other shows, because I actually find some of them quite annoying now.
Well, it's a split fan base. It's a split fan base.
It is.
It's a split fan base.
But I used to watch some of the other ones just to see the opinion on the other side as such. I'm more than willing to listen to another opinion. But when the other side just talks pure BS, and it's not because it's a different opinion to mine, I'm open to anyone's opinion. But anyone who says in a chat on any show, or anybody who has their own show and states any sort of comment like, I don't care about trophies, like cups, whatever, I just want to win a league or something like that, or Champions League, whatever, you're an idiot. And if I've offended you, good. Because you're an idiot, as far as I see it. And it's because of people like that why half our fan base don't give a shit about it. I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there who say it or whatever. And if you have said it and I've offended you, good.
I've begun to dislike sections of our fan base, and no doubt there's sections of the fan base that feel the same about me. It works both ways. I'm not in denial of the truth. In fact, I always bang on about the truth, but there comes a point where fans have just got to say, this chairman doesn't give a shit. He couldn't care less about silverware, and he's telling us. He's literally saying to you, guys, that trophy is not.
No, that's right. This hopefully will help the fan base wake up. You get what I'm saying? I hope it wakes up the fan base, right? I mean, at least not all of them, but at least 10% or 20% of it. Because, you know, what we are doing, right, is actually like a virus. It catches on. Sooner or later, if we don't win nothing in the next 2 years, right, the people are going to say, right, shit, I can't wait for this anymore.
Bollocks.
Right?
No, they won't. No, they won't. Because they haven't done it in 25 years, have they? So they ain't going to do it in another 2 years. I mean, if Ange goes, you might see a couple of you might see a few people kick up a bit of a stink, and that's about it. That's who we are, mate.
Now you've got social media. There are YouTube channels like this.
And what's that got to do with the time of day?
No, we can spread the word. It'll take time to grow. It'll take time to grow.
Yeah, but that ain't going to happen in 2 years, mate. Give it another 25 years, and you might get closer. You know, where you can do some sort of AI or whatever.
I don't think I have another 25 years. I'll be gone by then.
You know, what I mean? It ain't going to change.
Let's move on to what Ange said. And the reason I'm going to bring up what Ange said is because
let me go.
I'm winding myself up. Hang on. The reason I want to bring up Ange, guys, is because we got a lot of criticism the other day on this channel because we did every Monday we do our live show. We did a show 2 weeks ago called there's a picture of Levy and Ange. It was called Con Man and Yes Man because we believe Ange is a yes man who facilitates Levy and whatever he wants to do. That show got unbelievable views, so it's clearly triggered a lot of people. But I stick by it. And last night confirmed to me, in my opinion, Ange is a yes man. Let's have a look at what he said. This doesn't mean I dislike him as a person, everyone. I just, as a manager, the way he's going about it, I just think he's a Gareth Southgate, but with an Australian accent. And is it time to show more pragmatism in games? Teams that win trophies have solid defenses as well as attack. So he's specifically being asked about his tactics and his ability to adapt in certain games. His response is, you're spot on, mate, but it won't be us. As much as we want success, there is a Spurs way, and I won't deviate from that. And then he went on to talk about the Tottenham way and whatnot. Right, this has split fans again. So if you thought Levy split us, and just split us, Sava, you can go.
No, if people always say to me that it's an agenda and why don't you like him and that, and again, I'll echo Stel's sentiment. It's nothing personal. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I reckon I'd go and have a great curry with him. I reckon we'd have a right laugh, right? But, I mean, whichever way you read that statement, there's so many words you could say. You know, like, look, here at Spurs, we're trying to adopt an attacking philosophy. However, I also realise that to be successful, it's about finding that balance between attack and defence. And as a club, we will strive to make sure we have that balance. Me as a fan, when I hear that, I go, all right, cool, you're acknowledging it. But no, I acknowledge that only teams with solid defences win titles and stuff, but that's not us. That's not who we want to be, mate. And the more I look at it, the more I think to myself, it's just a bit of a mockery, isn't it? It's a bit of a circus. It's a real Sunday League attitude to it. You
Sunday League wouldn't have that attitude, mate.
Well, but you know what I mean, right? You wouldn't have Pep Guardiola, right? You wouldn't have Klopp. You wouldn't have Ancelotti, Conte, Jose. These people aren't going to come out with this. These people are not going to sit there and go, nah, that's not who we are. These people when I say these people, serial winners. And I don't mean serial winners, and no disrespect, in Scotland, Japan, right? Serial winners in the biggest leagues and the biggest competitions in the world are serial winners because they understand you can't just be all out attack. You have to be defensively solid. But this is the thing I said on my show earlier, Stel. I think what is going on with our fans is I think they really confuse pragmatism with negative football. So I think they confuse when you go, come on, you've got to be able to defend better. Oh, you didn't want a defensive manager. No, and I still don't. But a manager's got to know how to set his team up to defend. Doesn't make you defensive. The same way you don't have to be all out attack, but you need to know how to attack. And this
There
is the
has to be
problem.
a balance.
There has to be a balance. But what he's done there, Stel, if you could put, can you put out one more sec, right? There's one sentence there where if we're going to use Dan's formula of 70% of the fan base versus 30%, I'll go with that as well. It's this bit. As much as we want success, there is a Spurs way, right? That sentence there is giving him a free pass now, Stel, for every time we lose a game but are the better team stats-wise, XG, pressing, field tilts, blah, blah, blah. That line there is already being used by fans when they're comparing defeats last year against Newcastle to defeats this year against Newcastle. We're now going, but if you actually look at the stats, and this sentence allows him to get away with that. But Ange is doing it the Tottenham way. Well, first and foremost, guys, some of us remember the Tottenham way from back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, right? Since then, there's a Spurs way. It's been a very long time since we've had a Spurs way that's actually gone on to be
changed as well. Football's changed as well.
So for me, naive.
Can I say something? Right.
Yeah.
Guys, read between the lines. Ange is telling us, right, if we don't get rid of Levy, it's still going to be the same.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No,
you're doing that thing
again. Okay.
Come on.
No,
it's a cryptic message. Read between the lines, guy. We are fucked because, right, we're going to play. Come on. He said, spot on, mate. Those who win titles and trophies are good at defense and good at attack, right? We're not even good at none of these. So he's accepting.
No, but Eugene, the question he was asked, though, the specific question Ange was asked was, to win trophies, you've got to be pragmatic. I.e., there are going to be games where you've got to be a bit defensive.
No, I know.
Shore it up just to get the result. Just to get the result. And his answer is, I agree for success.
Yes.
But we're going to do it the Spurs way, meaning...
So the Spurs way is not winning anything. Yay, we got our Tottenham back.
Yeah, but Eugene, that just shows
this is really disingenuous now. Eugene, I said this to you last week. This is why when people...
You're spot on, but it won't be us, right? We want success. There's a Spurs way.
Yeah, but
I won't deviate from that. So,
but Eugene,
what he's saying is he will prioritize doing it
attacking
a certain way ahead of winning a game. So let's say
covered his arse basically.
What he's saying is, if the score's 1-1 in a game, and I know that a draw wins us the game, and for 10 minutes I can shore it up, go defensive, and just get that point, I'm not going to do that because the Spurs way is attack, 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 and I'm just going to go for it. A lot of fans will be like, "Yay, that's it. There is to do." Where some of us are going to say, "Can we just get the point and win the game, please? Can we just?" That's how I.
But this is the problem, right? And Eugene, we had this conversation last week. I think the problem is, and again, we've already sat here and slated Daniel Levy in this show about his portion. But the problem is, this is why I think a lot of people don't like the Levy out movement, so to speak, because straight away there, Ange has asked a question about pragmatism, and you've said Levy, and it's like, well, no, hang on, that's not on Levy. That question for me is not on Levy. Ange Postecoglou is the manager of this football club. He can turn around and say a plethora of things. He can say a number of things.
Why didn't he? Because he's been fed a PR question.
He's a yes man. That's the point. He's a yes man.
Eugene, no matter what you turn around, right?
No, Eugene, no.
Hang on. Can I finish my point? Can I finish my point? Hang on. But the thing is, Eugene, Daniel Levy's not going to tell Ange to say that, right? He's not going to tell him to say that. Because we haven't played the top, whatever this is nowadays, the Tottenham way for 24 years. It's been a mismatch of styles. Ange Postecoglou doesn't know any different than the style he plays. That's the problem. So if you've got a manager that isn't used to changing, now all of a sudden questions are being asked of how do you adapt? He can't. Who remembers 2 years ago, right? Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. Spurs beat Man City at Spurs 1-0. Do you remember that? We were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had all the
whole
game.
game under Nuno. Under Nuno.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
We
not
absorbed-
Nuno. Not Nuno. It was
Yes, Nuno, 1-0 at
Nuno.
home.
Dele Alli scored
Nuno.
first game of the season.
Yeah.
I was there. I remember.
no, not first game of the season. No.
It
They
was
beat
1-0.
us. Hang on. They beat us in and around January time because we beat them 1-0. Sorry,
Yeah, at our
we
ground,
beat
Sava.
them. Yeah, our ground. They beat us at theirs 4-2 after we were
Nuno.
2-0 up. And
Yeah, it
then
was the first game of the season under Nuno.
No.
When Conte came in.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it was.
No,
I remember that. It was.
No, it truly wasn't. Not last season, the season before. We were
Yeah,
2-0 up at home to Man City in the November or December.
Oh, that was the
Remember
away
at
game.
half-time?
Yeah, that was Conte.
The
The away
team-
game.
Hang on. Let me get there. Right, we were 2-0 up and then lost 4-2.
Yeah.
Then we played them a month later at White Hart Lane. Right, I believe we at one point went down to 10 men, but we won 1-0. Yeah.
I don't remember the second game, but
Right.
yeah, okay.
What
The only time I remember we beat M City was when it was under Nuno, and it was the first game of the season. We
Hang
sucked
on.
up all the pressure, and I think who
Okay,
scored? Was it-
I'm assuring you this happened, and I'll send it to you backstage. I'm assuring you this happened, right?
Okay.
Pep Guardiola after that game was a long way off of Arsenal in the league, and Pep Guardiola was asked after the game about his tactics, his defending, his style. Can he win the league? And Pep turned around and I concede we've lost the league. We've not been good enough. Blah 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 blah. From then, the very next game, Pep comes out. His tactics are completely different. He's changed things. He's moved all the players around in different positions. They then went on about a 20-21 game run between January and May and won the league. Right? My point to all this is he can't do that. Ange is not a good enough manager to look at this team and go, right, consistently, can I mix things up? So when he's asked the question about pragmatism, he's not got it in him. He's not got it in him to be pragmatic. The Chelsea game was the best example. No team in the world goes down to 9 men and defends on the halfway line. No team. We had fans calling it brave.
Everyone in life.
Right? It's brave. It's good. It shows how he wants to play. It's stupid. It's dumb. Top managers don't do that. They settle in and go, right, let's grind out this draw. By hook or crook, let's make this filthy. Let's stink the place out. Let's get that point. The way Arsenal did at the weekend. They're getting cussed for not playing football, but they're playing the best team in the country. Get that point minimum. Get that point. We don't do that. Ange is not capable of doing that. That's why, for me, in my opinion,
But that's what our fan base want, right?
Yeah,
He's not
it's-
capable of doing it. He's blatantly proven.
That's what our
Okay.
fan base want. They want exciting football.
Hang on, Eugene. Hang on.
No, Eugene's right. No, Danny's right. What he's saying is, but that's what our fans want. And I think a lot of them do. I agree. I think a lot of them do.
What I'm going to get to. It's like I've said a million times, as all he had to do was tell him to kick the ball forward, and the
Yeah,
majority
he's
of our
right,
fan
man.
base was bloody happy. And okay,
And he said it first.
our left wing back, Udoji, didn't invert quite as much. That was the change I saw, basically, in his whole system. But the players played significantly better, so you noticed it. But can he change a whole system on there, a whole style? Could he actually do what Arteta did to us? And people even tried saying that we cooked Arsenal that much that they had to sit back. Bollocks. They knew all they had to do was just sit back and wait for their chance. All right, they didn't play well, but it definitely didn't show good for us, and they got what they wanted on a set piece. It was either a set piece or a counter-attack. But that is not how Arsenal play. Arsenal play attacking football. And they've done the same with Man City. He can change his whole system and the whole thing around to suit a game. Ange can't do it come love nor money. And it proved it with Coventry. Okay, we won that game with Coventry. How we done that, I will never know, but it's football in that aspect. He has not got the mentality to change his style of play. And with what he's gone and said, basically, is he has just covered himself, like you said, Sava. He's just covered his ass, basically. We're going to do it the Spurs way. We're going to do it the attacking way. And that's what most of the fans, exactly. And that's what 70% of the fans want to hear. With a comment like that, he's proved two things to me on a personal opinion. He's proved to me that he just has not got a mentality. He hasn't got the management capacity in his head or the skill to change it. People can go on about Celtic in the Champions League, like what your fella was saying last night, and then turns round and says that Steven Gerrard is an absolute shit manager and nearly destroyed Aston Villa. Yeah, but hang on a sec, mate. He won the Scottish League with Rangers. That just about says it all for me.
Yeah.
And then the other side he's proved for me is he ain't Levy's yes man. He's Levy's little bitch. Through and through.
But guys,
simple
have
as
you not
that.
noticed, right?
I can't. I want him out.
Yeah. No, but have you not noticed, right? In the Bradford game, right? He did adapt. He sat back and he tried to protect that 2-1 scoreline. And we scored a third goal, right? On a Conte move. Did you not notice that?
No,
Yeah.
I think we scored from a counter attack, but I don't think we sat back. I don't think we sat back. In fact, I don't even think he
It's still Conte move, right?
I don't even
Counter-attack.
think his. I don't even think his. I did on Monday's show. We had an argument over this, and I showed screenshots from the game. I don't even think his tactics are what changed the game that allowed us to win. After 5 minutes, you could see Brentford were at 6s and 7s at the back. They left us loads of space out wide and in behind. The two things you don't do to Spurs. They allowed us to attack them. Brentford tactically got it wrong, in my opinion, badly.
How did we score our first goal against Brentford?
The first one was Maddison won the ball edge of the box, high press, wasn't it?
But they gave the ball away, playing that silly ball out from the back. We cut in, and that's great. Pressing's great, but it's the absolute. I won't say that word; it will get you cancelled. It's the absolute loving afterwards of masterclass, you know. And I said earlier, still, can you imagine back in the day, right? I won't say back in the day. Tottenham Hotspur playing Brentford at home. Most people look and go, that should be 3 points. Win the game, great win, good, move on. We win the game, and it ends up being, oh my God, it's the catalyst for the title. Ange's tactics prove everyone wrong. It's just like, I don't understand. The fan base are very, very easily pleased. As
It's
my
just a quick,
guest last night showed. Very
just a
easily
quick point
pleased.
I want to make on here to Phil Quiz, 1822. Dan, Ange has changed Bentancur's role to being a 6 rather than an 8, and also has Porro and Adoji overlapping when the wingers invert. No, he doesn't. We did not play over 6, as all we done was tell our 8 to come back more than he went forward. We did not play with an out-and-out DM there. But it could have looked like it because Bentancur covered it more. Now, with the overlapping sides, Adoji done it a couple of times, and that's basically what I said. But if you look at when we always got forward, Adoji was up there and Porro was in there. He did not play that with overlapping wingers through it. Adoji did it now and again.
Let's see that against the top team, Dan, right? Everyone going, oh, look what he did to change it up against an injury-ravaged Brentford. Let's see it when we played Arsenal. It was nowhere to be seen. It was nowhere to be seen. When we played Chelsea, it was nowhere to be seen, right? Let's see this weekend against Man United. You know, Garnacho and Rashford are going to be played and deployed quick, high over the top. Let's see, does he do it there? Have we learned our lesson? I've got doubts.
What's happening is, right, with what Levy said, fans are split, and what Ange said, fans are split. And for me, this is how I look at it. So I think Sava best said it a couple of days, I think last week. It's feelings versus facts. Those that look at the facts, you cannot argue it because the event has happened, which is what makes it a fact. You can't go back and change it. Like what I explained before, Man City were in the Premier League last year is a fact. You cannot argue it. And what feelings are saying are, how do I feel about what's happening, what I'm seeing or what I think I'm seeing? And they use some data to try and justify it. But the data doesn't actually mean you've won the game or you've got the points. No. This is what they're doing, right? If we beat Coventry, if we beat Brentford, if we beat Everton, it's Ange ball. It's a video of someone in a shocked face with their hands on their cheeks doing this.
Yeah.
Masterclass. Wow. Right. And everyone sucks in by it. What is this? What is this? Yeah. And they reel you in, As soon as we play a top 10 team, Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, and we lose, it's a process. Rome wasn't
Right.
built in a day. Be
Right.
patient. Well, hold on.
Yeah,
What
last week
happened
it was a
to
masterclass.
and the masterclass. I thought Johnson silenced the critics.
Yeah,
He didn't score against Arsenal, did he? What? So and
still,
the
I
reason
need to jump.
Yeah,
I need to jump,
Oh,
right?
Okay, Slava. Yeah.
Sorry, I need to jump in literally like 120 seconds. I've got to jump. It's my wedding anniversary today. So
yeah.
so
Happy
Congratulations.
yeah, she's done well putting out me, isn't she? But I just want to quickly say, if you could just bring up that comment for me that I asked you to bring up still before I go in the chat. And secondly, bang on with everything you just said there. This is the problem. When we win, this is Ange Ball. You're in the mud. This is Ange Ball. This is what we're capable of. Then if we don't win, it's but the players didn't do what he asked. He got the players to the edge of the box.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a project.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. This is a project with a manager that's never been anywhere more than 3 years. Now, just quickly, thank you, Mark. Thank you. That comment that you brought up, if you could just bring that up, and then I am jumping, right? Jackal, great point. If you want to know how about Tottenham, I'm going to call this out right now. I don't know if any of the panel would disagree with me. Do you know the only player from Tottenham's 11 now that gets in this team?
Van de Ven or Madison
Is the one that's already in there.
Oh, Son. Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says. Not one of our players right now is better player for player than that 11. Not one of them.
Yeah, but the Son head is so strong, right?
Huh?
The Son head is so strong. It's another deflection.
But for me, it's that wasn't my point. My point was everyone's go. Anyway, look, do you know what, guys? I'm going to go. Take care. Much love. And
happy anniversary, Sava. Right? Have a good day.
Thank you.
With your
Take
wife.
care, everyone. See you later.
Happy anniversary, Sava.
Okay, I'm coming back to what you said, right? All right, take care.
Sava. Thank you.
I'm coming back to your state, right? Sava. Stel, you were saying, right? Feelings. You know, our clubs is about feeling. Our fan base is about feeling. And the feeling is that if you're not feeling upbeat for our club, you're not feeling supportive of our club, and you cannot be realistic, right? Then you're not, and the worst part is that, right? You're not a fan. Remember? They always tell us, you're not a fan, you're negative. You're not a fan.
Go support Arsenal. Go support Man City.
Yeah. So that's why I said it's all about feelings. But the fans who are saying all this, right? When we tell them, right, where's your ambition? They can't answer us. And they say, I want a trophy. But if you want a trophy, right, you can't have feelings. You have to be pragmatic. You must understand the stats.
Eugene, the feelings will come from what they want, right? And you're either a fan that doesn't care what anyone thinks, and you're going to say, and you're going to say what you see, and you're going to say how it genuinely is. Like basically, you say it as it is from your perspective. You shoot from the hip, straight talker, or you're someone that is very worried what you might think. I don't want you to not like me and not be my friend and not follow my channel. The thing is, I don't care about having a career on YouTube, and I don't care about whether this channel's here next week, next month, 5 years, 10 years. I don't do it for that. I genuinely do it because I need to have a voice. That is what I need to say. Whereas the ones that do all the masterclass, wow, all that stuff, they want to work for Sky Sports. They want to work for TalkSport. If Daniel Levy gave them a job, they'd take it. They just want a career in this. Yeah, but Eugene, they want to win awards at the YouTube content creators, all that stuff. They are career people. They're looking to open doors to have a world, to have a career in some kind of media capacity in football. I don't care about any of that. I couldn't care less. So Eugene. So in their eyes, people like me are a disruptor. I disrupt their space. No, I'm not. I'm saying it as it is because you guys are too scared to do it because you're worried you might not get called up by Sky Sports. You might not be interviewed by TalkSport. You might not get invited onto certain shows. I couldn't care less. I need to say it as it is. And that's why they do all this masterclass Rome wasn't built in a day. That's why they do that, Eugene, because it fits.
No, but still,
it fits the path to where they want to get to. It's the journey that they're on.
No, I know, but still, the fan base, right, still has another part of them, right? It's in PTSD. You get what I'm saying? They don't want to change the manager. They don't want to see the reality. They don't want to see the facts. So they rather sit it out and wait until Ange brings even though let's say Ange doesn't succeed, right? This season we will drop down into mid-table and all that. We know that, right? In reality, right? Levy will sack him straight away because he's not in the challenge for the top 6 or top 4. It's all about the money. But our fan base, right, will still be oblivious to it.
No, they're not oblivious. No, Eugene, no, they're not oblivious. They do it on purpose. They're scared. They're scared to not fit in. They're scared to not be part of the community, and they're scared that they won't get that phone call to be part of that show or go on that media channel. It's all fear. It's fear of not being accepted. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Accepted by who?
I just told you. The media, shows. Like, for example, Chris Cowling will never have me on. Never in a million years will he invite me on. Do you know why? He's petrified that I'm going to go on there and say it as it is.
But he has Deco.
That's the fear. That's the fear.
But he has Deco. Still, he has Deco on the show.
Not Brian Daigle. I'm not Brian Daigle. Brian Daigle.
No, you're almost the same.
No, hear me out. No. I'm gonna. 1 minute. 1 minute. No. Stop. 1 second. Hold on. I need to reply to that. I need to. Eugene, let me reply to it. Brian Daigle does a great job on there. He does a wonderful job on there. But I'm not Brian Daigle. I will come in with a different way. I will come in. I'm gonna say as it is. Right?
Yeah, we know.
Brian says it his way. Brian does it, and he does a great job at it. But Chris knows if I come on, I'm going to challenge him, and I'm going to keep challenging because I know what he's doing. I totally know what he's doing. I was there when he told people that he doesn't like the board, but he can't say anything because he'll lose his perks. He'll lose his access. Well, sorry. That's a sellout. That's inauthentic.
He didn't say it live, right? Yeah, he didn't tell people on YouTube.
Eugene, that's my point. Whereas I will say these things. You understand?
But the thing is that somehow or another, right? Recently, I've been watching Pauline's show, right? He's slowly bending to our side.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
No,
he
is.
He's not. He's giving the illusion. It's an illusion. Until he says, I want Levy out. Until he says, I want Enoch out. Until he says, you know what? Back the protest. Until he says it's time to take action. Don't get sucked in by that, man. Don't let the media or the people that want to work for the media draw you in like that.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it might sound crazy what I'm about to say, but I think everyone's gonna change soon. Just give it time until we don't take the cup seriously, and let's say we finish 10th. I'm telling you this right now. The Cowlins, the last word on Spurs, everyone's gonna turn on Levy.
No, they're not.
Everyone.
No, they're not.
No,
I have a feeling they will. All the
journalists that go on last word on Spurs are not going to go on there if they start banging that drum, because they risk their jobs. Because listen, Michael Bridge, he works for Sky Sports. Michael Bridge works for Sky Sports. Eugene, when people speak, please don't talk over them. Right? Sorry to. I don't want to be rude. Whenever I speak, you always talk. When you speak, I'll go quiet as well. Michael Bridge, I was on a show, right? And backstage, because I never knew he was going to come on Sky Sports Report. I got invited on a show to talk about Spurs. I didn't know he was going to be there. So backstage, out of courtesy, I said, is there anything we're not allowed to say? Because I know you work for Sky. And he said, please don't do anything Levy out because it's not a good look for me. And so as soon as he said that, I realized all journos, all media people, they can't be on platforms that are going to do that because it puts them at risk. So you can't invite these journalists on. You can't invite certain A-listers on unless the conversation navigates in a way where you avoid that saying or that conversation. You can, when they're not on, right? When they're not on, you can bring someone else on to do that for you. That's different. But this is how I know how it works. And this is why I'll never be on a Chris Cowling. I'll never be on a Last One on Spurs. I'll never be on any of these channels. But they'll tell you it's because I'm a nasty, horrible human being that goes around digging up people's graves, right? That's what you hear.
Yeah, but still, that is the media narrative, right? That's not only for football, right? It's the norm. You guys know, everybody is out for perks. That's how I see it, right? That's what I'm saying. Man, these are pussies.
It's true, but what Dietrich has said to an extent is right, and that's going to be quite a few of them are going to change their opinion to maybe not to the extreme of Levy out, but very much start questioning more than they ever would have. But, and it's a big but, they won't do it on here. They'll just do it to their friend sitting next to them. They ain't going to come on YouTube and say, no, we've had enough, Levy out, this and that. Not a chance in hell, because then like was said, they lose all their little perks. They lose their Sky TV. They lose their chances of getting to go to these special events and everything else. They will not in a million years state it clear as day on YouTube or on TV. But if they're sitting next to their mate down the pub having a beer, they probably do say it. They probably already say it. But no chance would they do it on here officially. Not a
Do you know what,
chance in
Dan?
hell.
Like, honestly, on YouTube, I don't know because I'm not a YouTube person. Like, that's more your field, both of you guys. But on Twitter, especially on the big followers on Twitter, or X, whatever you call it, people are starting to question him, especially with the fan from yesterday. People are saying, like, why didn't you mention, like, the trophies, you're number one? Like, what is this? People are questioning him now.
The way I think this will happen, the way I think this will happen is there will come a point whereby the media will turn on the club, and the current level of management at these organisations will be like, right, we've built them up, we've protected them for so long. Now it's their turn to get the proper journalistic scrutiny that we give other big clubs. The way that will happen is that not the Tottenham ecosystem in terms of YouTube and media, but the other fan channels that have no affiliation with Spurs will make us the talking point, like they have done already, but that will increase. And that will bring the journalists towards questioning the ownership. One thing I do rate TalkSport, and I know they do this obviously to strike debate and headlines and controversy and clickbait and stuff like that, is they do allow people to talk about Spurs' lack of success. And I actually really applaud them for that. And I think it's inevitable that at some point they will get, people will start turning, people will scrutinize Tottenham even more so than before. And it's only a matter of time in reference to once it gets to 25, 30 years, at some point, this will all come crashing down. Whether or not it'll be our fans that do it is another question. I don't have the answers, to be honest, as to what will come first. I've got to admit, I thought I was going to come on here and just start ranting and raving, and it's for me, it's got to the point now where I'm even questioning, do I even watch Tottenham anymore? Is it even worth my time, even coming on YouTube? Because for me, that fan forum was an absolute take the piss out of the fan base. It's, I own the club. There's nothing you guys can do that will make me change me making my money, doing what I want to do in terms of infrastructure and how I run the club. So much so that even my manager is going to toe the corporate line and do what I say. Full stop. Because I've made the mistake. My mistake was Jose Conte. Never going to do that again. That's, to me, was what happened effectively at that fan forum. And I will never, ever again accept anyone that I go on a show with, if I continue to do this, right, that justifies Levy or the manager. And if anyone says to me, you have to back the manager for X, Y, Z, I'm going to refer back to that fan forum and what that manager said at that point in time. Because there's no two ways about what they said. Ange said that he doesn't want to be pragmatic and win trophies. He will only do it the Tottenham way. Now, what is the Tottenham way? Well, the Tottenham way was being pragmatic and was playing good football. The old teams did know how to defend, but we were in the mold of the Barcelona type where we kept possession on the football, right? And did what we needed to do and stop the other team from playing because we were so much more superior than them. But I'm pretty sure at no point through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even the 80s, did any of our managers say, you know what, I'm just going to go all out attack, forget about defending. I'm going to do it this way. That's it. I'm never going to change. I don't think any of our successful managers did that because that one, they had balls, right? And two, they were football men. I don't think Andrew's a football man. I think he's the ultimate yes man. He is, for me, he's Levy in drag. And you're right still, he's the Gareth Southgate of Tottenham Hotspur, right?
Levy in drag.
He might as well be. He might as well be Levy in drag. He might. I was saying that earlier. And I've been saying this for a while, but for me, these comments for me just it's I've got to admit it's hurt me. If I'm honest with you, it hurts to see your manager and the owner of the club basically turn around and say, well, I just don't give a shit about winning, to be honest with you. And my biggest achievement is making money. I mean, what successful business owner comes out and says that? No, they don't. I don't think they do. Like Apple don't say, oh yeah, we're the best, and from now on, we don't care about making good products for our customers. We're just going to continue fleecing you all and doing that. They don't come out and say that. No, they don't do that.
Levy does.
Yeah, Levy's the outlier. Levy's the exception. This is why it hurts.
He's a successful businessman through and through. Like I said, Angie's just his little bitch. And when it comes down to the crunch, like I said, Ange, if he ends up not being close enough to fourth place soon in Christmas, 25 years of history, say Levy's out. I mean, we'll say Angie's gone. Why? Because Levy desperately wants that money. And he knows he can probably just get another little manager that's up and coming or never had a big job like Ange never did. And he'll be able to do the same thing with him. I would literally bet a lot of money on it here and now. If you'd have put Conte or Jose on that show there and then, even if Levy told them to say exactly what Ange said, they wouldn't have said it. Never in a million years.
I just want to say, I'll tell you something, and I'm just being honest. And look, I like Brian Daigle a lot, right? I've met him. I've been at a protest with him. I think he's a top class person. But I tell you what hurts me is when he comes on and says, I'll always back a manager because of Levy. And I cannot stress how much I disagree with that because of exactly what's just happened now. Because Ange is Levy in drag.
No,
so how can you back a manager knowing that he's doing exactly what Levy wants him to do?
Brian does
back the manager.
Brian does that because he's not here to reply, but I know why Brian does it. Brian does it because if in his thinking is if you don't back the manager, then if you have a go at the manager, it deflects all the energy away from Levy.
But if the manager is Levy, which he effectively is, then it doesn't, does it?
Mass, that's what I'm saying. It's PTSD. There are a portion of our fan base, right, can't go through this manager merry-go-round again. You understand? Not? It's repeating itself. That's why I said Ange is a deflection and a distraction. The actual focus should be on Levy out.
It will always come back to that. It's the root cause. You know, if you've got a problem, you've got to do a root cause analysis and find out where you're going wrong year in, year out. And you know, we know Levy's, you know, and again, and I know Sava's not here as well. And not, I agree again, same thing with Sava. You know, I think he's a top guy. 99% of his opinions I agree with. But where I don't agree with him is not talking about Daniel Levy and just focusing on the football. Alex is guilty of that too. He done that 2-3 years ago, right?
But
and I
Alex
don't
was
agree
strange.
with it, right? Because, right, Levy is the puppet master. And
He's always
as long
been.
as he's the puppet master, we need to talk about it, because things will not change with this man in charge. It will not change with this man in charge.
No.
It's 25 years. And I'm gonna bring all of this up now, right? Because it's been bothering me for a long time. What irked me about Adrian, right, was when he said, "Oh yeah, just give Ange, you know, another 2-3 years, he'll build his team." Same with Ian. Give Ange, same with Matt. Give Ange another 2-3-4 years, right, to build a team. Mate, some of these gentlemen might be dead in 4 or 5 years' time. That's the reality, right? That is the reality. So why are we giving this guy grace?
Adrian's agenda driven, mate.
I understand. I'm just giving my thoughts on it, right? Why we should not be giving Ange or Levy grace at all. Conte said, right, what needed to be said at the perfect moment that it needed to be said. That was the moment, right, that the fan base should have rallied, right?
Yep.
And we didn't.
We're pussies.
So for me now, right, for me personally, I think we're done, right? Until Levy goes, right, retires, gets fed up, gets too old, sells up, whatever, and you get a fresh pair of eyes looking at it, right? Nothing's going to change.
Maz,
Right.
do you know what scares me with let's say if we sack Ange? I honestly feel like the same
Right,
thing's gonna
Mason?
happen with Conte. People are just gonna like move the narrative once again. Oh, it was the manager's fault. Oh, it was him. But they're never gonna blame Levy. Until as much as I hate Ange and I want him gone, I think we need to focus more on Levy than Ange.
But
Even though Ange is basically Levy's son.
Yeah, but the issue we've got, Dietrich, is this, right? If we focus on Levy, half the audience switches off, right? If you go Ange, people then wonder what Levy gets away with it again. The truth is this: for the first time, we are in a situation where we can see it because of what's happened in the past, because of what Conte has said, because of what Poch has subconsciously said. Because of these things, we now know that managers are accepting of a failed formula. So if Ange comes in and toes the line, and we can see that the line doesn't quite make sense, he's a yes man. So if you're a yes man, you are part of the problem. Ange is 100% part of the problem. That comment he gave yesterday, if this wasn't a Donna Cullen written piece of work, I mean, to say to the fans, should you be more pragmatic in games? Teams who win have solid defenses. He says, you're spot on, but that's not us. As much as I want success, there's a Spurs way. So what he's saying is the Spurs way comes first, be all and above all from success. And we know that is Levy talking, because Levy doesn't even put a trophy in his top 3 achievements. So you've got a chairman who doesn't value trophies and a manager who's saying success is further. It's not my priority.
Didn't I say that earlier?
And this is why Jose right, left the club,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as Levy said to him, mate, you've got to
mean
concentrate on the top four, right? You've got to concentrate on the top four. That's when probably I can just imagine the argument them two have. And Jose probably said to him, "What do you mean only top four? It's about the glory. It's about winning cups. It's about giving your fans silverware." And Levy was like, "No, mate, not at my Tottenham." So he sacks him a week before the final, right? Conte, he comes in, amazing 6 months. I thought we played fantastic football. Not as good as Poch, not as good as Redknapp era, but it was damn good in my eyes, right? Good enough, right? And it was winning football, right?
Yeah.
It goes into the summer, doesn't get the players he wants. And I go back, guys, on the first...
He switches off, right?
During the summer, and then the first show back, I said, something is off with Conte, right? And the rest is history. Now I know it's conspiratorial, but his blow up at the end proved everything again, right? And I'm telling you now, Levy will not repeat those two mistakes again, right? And this is why I had such a big problem with fans saying, "I only want good football," because of exactly what's happened today. Your eyes get deflected away from what the prize is. The prize is silverware, guys. It's not good football, right? It's a sport, and you play the sport to win, right? And there's different ways of getting there, sure, right? But if you only want good football, that doesn't make you a winner.
That's why I've been saying, man. Levy has cornered, right, that demographic of that fan base, right, that suits his needs. Right? Not enough of us are waking up to protest against what we are, like what Matt is saying. The objective is titles. The objective is trophies, right? Even though not how shit we were in the 80s and 90s, we won things, right? What have we won in 2010, 2020? We're going to reach 2030.
Yeah, but Eugene, as all people wanted to do was see, like I said, as all they wanted to do was see him kick the ball forward. Everyone's got their own opinion of what's good football, yeah? Everyone's got their own opinion of what isn't good football. But a lot of the time you can sit there and see when something just ain't working. My way has always been the more tactical way, in the aspect of, I like it the Italian way. Sit back, hold back everything they got because you're good enough to do it, and then bang, speed, direct ball up front, put it in the back of the net. But that's just my opinion. And that football can look very good if you got the right team to do it. But then other people don't like that. Other people just want it out and out attack. And it's just each their own on that aspect. But I can tell you one definitely works a hell of a lot better than the other. The counter-attacking style football overall over the years in a lot of leagues does win a hell of a lot. Just having possession up there and kicking the ball about don't usually win someone a league, especially if they don't concentrate on their defence. Even the ones who do that, like Man City, they still concentrate on having their defence there as well. Not the whole bloody team in that side of the pitch.
Dan, I disagree a bit here. I think possession-based football does win trophies in leagues. Man City have proven it. I think with Man City, the case is...
Oh, no, I said it does win.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the reason Man City's wins is because they've got a world-class manager and they sign top-level players. We've got a manager unproven, and we sign Odebert, Werner, Johnson, Solanke, Pape Sarr, and whatnot.
But they still cover their defence.
But what I'm saying is the whole point of possession-based football is so that if you've got the ball, you can score, and if you've got the ball, they can't score. So keep the ball, but then you've got to score, right? That's the point of it. If you've got Johnsons, Werners, Solankes, Richarlisons, an up and down Maddison, a midfield that's unbalanced, then how are you going to score against the best teams? Well, you're not, as proven by our record against the top 10. We are a joke. So the recruitment, which always starts with Levy, but is supported by the manager, because the manager does have the choice to say, no, I don't want this player, or walk out. So if the player signs, they've accepted this Levy formula. Possession-based Pep Guardiola would not accept these players. He'd walk. He'd be like, this isn't for me. See you later. So I think possession-based football does work. With the players we've got, I think you've got an argument to say that maybe a counter-attacking system would be better suited to us because we've got fast, wide players and fast forward players that are more like we saw the last goal against Brentford where Romero, Basuma with the tackle edge of the box, Romero picks up the ball, killer pass to Son to Madison goal. That was a quick counter attack. So there's an argument to say that would better suit us. But I think possession-based football does work, but you need top-level players in the top manager.
I'm not saying
Chelsea right now.
And that could segue to what I want to say just right now. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan, because you just done something so perfectly to why I come on just now, because I'm only going to be not that long. Yeah, because I think you lot have just missed something. Yeah, missed something that was said in that fan forum. Yeah, that I still missed the Box Office TV, a new video that's on the channel right now. So go and watch and like and subscribe. Where Daniel Levy's actually thrown Postecoglou under the bus by saying that it's his decision. Most of these players, he's literally said it. He's literally said it in a statement. I can read it to you right now. He says, "Our view, we want to play a certain way. I don't think we are dictating to Ange that he can only sign young players. He will sign who he feels is best for the team." So that just confirms it bang on for me. This is all on Ange. And I can't believe you lot didn't even see it for yourselves. There.
No, I didn't see that.
No,
straight away there.
Alex, hold on. We blame Ange.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying. If there's any doubt, but anybody saying this is all on Daniel Levy or the club, the statement's there. Ange said it. It's on him, and Daniel Levy's just confirmed it right there.
Yeah,
he's also said about the young players as well. He's also said about the young players as well, added on what he said. But I don't know how. Even Sam, Alex, I can't believe he didn't miss that one. I can't believe he missed that.
I didn't see that come up and hear it.
Yeah, it is all Ange signings, but Ange is doing exactly what Levy wants him
to
do.
But Daniel Levy has thrown him under the bus by saying he's picking the players. That's what his words are saying. And Ange is saying it as well. So if there's any doubt, now the whole thing with Timo Werner is on him. The young players is on him. Yeah. And as I said before, it's all on him.
Alex,
because he's accepting it.
Alex, can I prove you? No, wait. Eugene, wait. Alex, can I prove you wrong? I know he says those things, which I think with a pinch of salt. But when he says, do you remember when Lange said we've been scouting Odeberg for 2 years? Ange wasn't here.
But bro, I'm sorry.
But he wasn't. No, I know.
I know, but it doesn't matter whether he was scouting him for 2 years, right? He's confirmed, and he said it himself, and Dan said it perfectly. He's dug a hole for himself, and it's all on him. He says if the players are coming
what is the difference?
It's him. And then now Daniel Levy said it, and Daniel, if Ange had a problem with it, he's sitting by him. He's sitting by him.
Okay,
so
perfect
sorry,
example. Why did
Conte by the guy?
Okay, why did Conte accept Longley on loan? He could have walked.
Yeah, but regardless whether Longley's done it, you all know Conte had his own mind because what he said. What did he say about bloody Jed Spence?
No, but but Longley, but he accepted Longley too.
Yeah, but regardless, yes, because he got on with it. Yes, he did. But at the same time, he still left the club. He had enough.
Well, he got sacked actually.
So regardless whether he got sacked or not, he was asking for it, he was begging for it.
He got sacked after his comment.
He needs to be sacked, right?
Managers, managers. Look, one, they're getting paid a shitload of money. Two, we're not saying that managers come in and don't compromise. Everyone compromises. Everyone negotiates, right? Conte and Jose negotiated, right? And they are to blame also for some of those players coming in, no doubt, right? However, they're the ones with balls to stand up to Levy because their record demands respect. Their experience demands respect. Their wisdom demands respect, right? Whereas Ange, is effectively an extension of Levy, right? And Ange has probably said to Levy, okay, I'm happy to work with this shitty budget, right? Because I've never worked with anything else, right? There's this experience thing coming in here because his CV and history doesn't demand the same caliber and respect as what those other top managers do. Because Jose and Conte can say, yeah, hold on a minute, I won with Inter, or I won with Chelsea, I won with these types of players, right? This is not going to work, Daniel, right? And Daniel's probably saying, yeah, but this is our budget, and then they're compromising. Whereas Ange is like, I'm happy to work with this really crappy budget, right?
Yeah.
Low salary expectations, and I'll sign all these subpar players, and he's accepted
it's
it and they've
still 10
come in.
times
I know
bigger
it's a
than
very
Chelsea.
crude way of explaining
Sorry,
it,
guys.
Celtic.
I don't want
but I
to change
think
the. I don't want to change the subject. Just like funny how it is. Do you know Man City plays tonight against Watford in the League Cup? Do you know they're about to start a 16-year-old at centre back, and our manager doesn't even play anyone?
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is the problem.
No,
This is all on Ange. I
it's
get where you're coming from, Dietrich. I do
We
get where you're coming from.
started
And Maz,
Archie
I see your
Gray
point.
and we started Bergvall in the Carabao
But-
Cup.
no, but one is 16 years old, plays centre back.
Okay, maybe we don't
16.
have a 16-year-old ready, Dietrich.
No, but I'm just saying like he gives a no. I'm just saying like for example,
But
Pep,
I'm gonna
which
have
is a
to go.
proven
I
winner,
don't
plays.
understand the point you're making there.
No, I'm just saying like as much as like
let Alex
Oh, yeah,
make his
Alex,
point
go.
because he's going to go.
I'm sorry. I was only going to because I just wanted to make that point. I've said it on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, in a new video that's just released right now. So if you want to know what I'm watching, that's it. You know what I mean? Because I get the exclusive every single time. The point I'm making is that I'm sorry. He's got a lot to answer for now, Ange. For me, yes, I get where you're coming from, Maz. But unfortunately, Daniel Levy ain't leaving the club. I can't waste my energy on it anymore. Yeah, no disrespect to Brian, no disrespect to Stelios, because you know I respect you all highly, and you get a lot of abuse for, and I will not have it having anybody ever go at that Brian or Stelios, because at the end of the day they've been good to me. You know what I mean? But my point is, unfortunately, that fan forum and recently all the comments that's happened has not made Ange look good right now, and it's now looking like it's all on him. His his IQ in terms of looking for players is not very good either, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, because that's what I do, talk the truth. Because the statement's just there, like I said, because Daniel Levy has just done a fast one on his manager, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, and that's it. Big up, guys. Big up everybody in the chat and everything else. And I'm out of here. Take care, guys. I'm out of here.
Big up, Alex. Yeah, nobody's coming for me.
Big up
Oh,
to
man.
Alex. Just in case anyone wants to know, I've just put Alex's link to his show in the chat. It's also down below right now. Make sure you like, subscribe. Go follow Mr. Box Office, the professor of truth and fraudulence. No, what's up, Brian? You good?
Big up, Brian.
Too great today. That's why I haven't streamed. But obviously been listening to you guys. Fantastic show. And then Maz, love you, brother. Love you. Listen, I'm just, mate, listen. People, I see a lot of people since I've gone on Cowlins. Oh, Brian's gone soft. He's gone. No, I haven't. I'm just going, as Stel rightfully said, I'm doing things a different way. I can't be asked shouting and screaming, bitching, ranting, moaning. So I'll go speak about it. People actually watch the shows when I go on Cowlin. 75% of it is speaking about Levy out. 75% of it. Whether people believe that Chris is upset or angry at the board or whatever, that's all down to whoever watches the show. That's your opinion of him. Don't ever think I've changed. Don't ever think I have changed, because that don't happen. It won't happen. I'll come on to the prick at the top of the tree in a minute. Manager Maz, the reason I've always had it, mate. Nuno, everyone, and the reason I am always manager in is it doesn't matter what happens. If you look at it, look at the top three last year. I'm just going to use the top three: Liverpool, Arsenal, City. Managers have been there 7, 8, 9 years. They've been able to. The most important thing is they've been allowed to build something with owners that listen to their managers and back them. We have had one manager that's had a contract extension under his whole time, and he almost got us to the promised land, and that was Pochettino, and he had 5 years. Every other manager right now comes 18 months, we'll get rid of him. Okay, we'll get the next one in 18 months. And like you said with Ange and the budget, you think Jose was happy with that budget? You think Conte was happy with that budget? They paid the price. Everyone pays the bloody price. And you got to remember, right now, we're looking at, if I said to you now, Ange Postecoglou goes, but Gareth Southgate comes in, you're immediately going to be fuming. That, oh my God, we've got Gareth fucking Southgate. What's he going to do? It doesn't matter who comes in. It doesn't matter. We've had the 2-year managers. We've had the 4-year managers. We've had the defensive managers. We've had the attacking managers. We've had the win now managers. We've had the youth manager. Every single manager has had a different story to tell, but never gets to finish the story.
But Brian, there's a big difference here, mate.
This is why I, not saying I don't listen. If you want Ange out, you want Ange out. Just like I want Levy out, and people want Levy in or Levy to stay, whatever it is. I have always said, and still will back me up on this, we've known each other 34 years. If I'm going to a protest, I'll be there. I'll travel to a different continent to be there. If I say I'm going to be outside a trading ground, I'll be outside a trading ground. If I say I'm going to be outside a protest, I'll be outside at a protest. I have said from day one since supporting Spurs, especially under this crook, that I won't turn on the manager. So I am being true to myself once again. I won't turn on it. The other thing I will say with this, because it comes down to it, because what I'm seeing right now is I am having so many, when I say nobodies, I mean no-name accounts who are on Twitter or reaching out to me via other social media. Brian, your guys have to get the protest back up. You've got to start. We've got to get him out. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Okay. Why is it on me? Why is it on Graham? Why is it on Ryan? Why is it on Stel? Why is it on people that went there week in, week out, took every single bit of abuse, were called out, said we're going to do this. These people, not the people that have been reaching out to me, say, yeah, we're going to come there and support it. We're going to the game. We are going, we live away. I can see Jonas, and I will always mention that. Jonas is in the chat already. He travelled all the way from fucking Finland.
Yeah, he flies in.
You got Brian Maguire in the chat, travelled all the way from Glasgow. I can go
on. What about William Leone, 18, gets to train from Hertfordshire, comes to the protest and goes home because he can't afford a match day ticket to stay and watch the game.
Yeah, there's another one. And he used to be on We Are Tottenham TV, Miles. Remember Miles with the long hair? Not Ryan's brother.
Miles, yeah.
He travels from Hartlepool to get to these protests and then drives home. Yet people that are at the stadium and say they're going to be there and come, don't come. So why should I? Yeah, go on, Stel.
Listen, it's all the YouTube channels, bar 3 or 4, and podcasts. Right, I'll say it because I'm speaking. It's me now. It's just my view. They are all culpable, right? I know. Cowlin has you on his show, right? And you say your thing, and good. But does he take action? No. Will other similar sized channels? No, they don't. Will like the Flavs and the Fighting Cocks? No, they don't. So this is the problem we've got as a fan base. This will never ever change.
Other people that do shows that are leaving out that say they won't go to protests. It's just the same. There's channels that will say protest. Look, Savvy used to say it. Henry Wright used to say this. This is not me having a pop at them. This is not me having a pop at them.
Yeah, what Sava does, because I called Sava out on this.
The same me called Sava out. I'm just saying.
I called him out. I called him out on it. I called him out on it.
But
he protests. He protests by not going to the game. So his demonstration is not going to the game. And I know people that have given up their season tickets. My point is, there's too many channels that think they can get away with having Levy out debates, but they don't rally the troops to do something. This is why we're stuck as a fan base.
But still, you have got that. You're right with that. But what I'll also add to that is why when so many people reach out to me saying I've got to start something, or not me.
Yeah, they can organise.
No, you're right, Brian. But my point.
Why don't you? No, sorry. Give me 2 seconds, man. All right. Well, why don't you get something going? Show your. Why should I? When I say every time I say I mean the whole group, Graham, Ryan, like everyone. We put up banners. And when I say banners, I don't mean the ones at the club shop. We put up flyers. We went on all the shows advertising it. We did everything. 50-odd thousand Spurs fans. I won't say 60 because of corporate and whatever. Oh yeah, we're gonna come. We're gonna come. We're gonna come. Did you? Did you?
No, I agree. I agree.
You were at the game. So these people, it's not just that. Listen, when we tried to get Sugar out, there was no YouTube. This was individuals that came together, and it escalated and escalated and escalated. What I'm saying is, everyone that says we've got to get him out, we've got to get him out. Well, if you're at the game, do something about it.
Maz, we got off topic here. We got off topic.
My point was very acute, right? And I wasn't. Like I said, 99% of the stuff you said I actually agree with. But like I said, my point was very acute with what the reason why I mentioned you is for me, Ange Postecoglou is an extension of Levy.
I can understand that.
Yeah, right. And I agree with you in reference to having stability, keeping your managers backing them, etc., etc. I agree with you in that point because we've been speaking about this for the last 4 or 5 years on streams together, right? I agree with you on that. But for me, the moment Conte did his speech, everything changed. I cannot back a manager that accepts the conditions which Levy lays out, right? And the only way I can back them is if they prove us wrong. And for me, Ange hasn't proved us wrong. And not only hasn't he proved us wrong, he's contradicted himself throughout the last 2 years. And he's come out and said things like he has today, which I've been warning about ever since he came. Well, ever since the Chelsea result, I've been warning about this. And that's why I said when you say,
yeah,
I will always back a manager, it hurts me because I'm Levy out. I've been to a process, right? But I think the time has come now where we have to say we don't back anything at Spurs now because of Levy, right? Because by backing Ange, even a little bit, it gives fuel to all these other channels and supporters to repeat the cycle, right? So I think we need to be in a position now where we say enough's enough. We don't back anyone. This is our position, right? That's it, right? We won't participate in your fake positivity, your psyop that Levy's done on the fan base, the propaganda and all of that, because you feed them a little bit, they take a mile, and that's why I'm hurt by it, because we need to draw a line under this and say enough's enough now.
Maz, what I do say, Maz, what I do say is, and I've said it before, some of the things he says in press conferences drives me mad. Some of the quotes he comes up with drives me mad. That's all off the pitch. When I say I back it, I back him on the pitch. When you say we don't have a stance on him, it's like, where do you draw the line? It's in, like you say, well, I don't support the players. I'm not saying this at you. I'm saying if people go, right, I'm not going to stand for this. I don't. But like the way you said it, then you go, well, do you know what? I'm not going to do this for the lads. The only way anything changes like that is with people act with their feet, and it's boycotting. Even though he's got the money, I mean, he's done something again today. I don't know if you've seen it during this show. There's tweets going around. The tickets for the Europa League were £30. As they haven't sold out, he's now racing to 35 to try and cover the losses. So if you want your Europa League ticket now,
are you kidding me?
No.
This is
what this man. See, people will know when it comes to. I pick my battles now, Levy, and I've picked a few with him. When it's David Pleat with this forum, I've gone for him. I pick my battles, not every single motherfucking little thing, because it doesn't do anything. You have to pick your goddamn battles. It's all over Twitter now. If you go on it, he's now actually still. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. 1 second, I'll get it to you on WhatsApp. He's now raised.
I'll find it.
No, seriously, right? He can't sell the tickets and he's upping the prices.
Yep.
Instead of lowering the prices to get people into the stadium.
Dynamic prices. Still check your WhatsApp.
Why would he do that, right?
Everywhere. Listen,
one more.
It's what this football club does. It's what this football club stands for. It's what this football club has been allowed to get away with. And it continues. It continues, and like I said, and the main thing about this whole thing, like I said, and with Maz as well, is every single time there are people that want that I don't understand, or I do understand this. Sorry, that's not the right way. What I'm trying to get is I don't understand how you can be Levy out, manager out, and then put all your efforts into the manager. It should always be that man at the top, because all that happens is 18 months later. Don't get me wrong, you can disagree and not want the manager, but if people are Levy out and they are predominantly wanting the board out, and you're like, do you know what? He's fucked up with another manager. If that's what you think, he's made a mistake with another manager. If you want this guy out as in the man at the top, why are you then going, do you know what? People say, why don't you go for Joe Lewis?
You have to go for both. But in this scenario, Brian, you have to go for both because Ange is parroting Levy speak. Right?
But then the next manager comes in and does it again.
Yeah,
Okay, guys,
I understand. I understand, Brian. But at that point, at that point, though, no. But hold on, Eugene. Right at that point, that's why we need to demand. Right, apart from our demands to Levy, we need to demand that Levy appoints managers with backbone.
Do you think he's going to listen?
He ain't gonna.
Not now, he won't. Which is why we need to play this. But what
Levy won't hire
right? I understand.
Up to him. They will respond to him.
Brian, I understand both of you guys, right? Brian, what you're saying is that it doesn't matter what manager comes in. The focus should be Levy out, right? I understand what Maz says, right? Maz is saying Ange is an extension of Levy, right? In the end of the day, right, what I'm saying is, right, Ange is still a deflection and distraction. So the focus must go back on Levy out. And I understand with Maz.
That's what I'm saying. That's the bit. I don't get it, because then people have a go, why don't you go for Joe Lewis? Obviously, he's no longer really part of the club. And I say, well, Joe Lewis ain't there. So you can't go, we want Lewis out. He won't give a shit. He's on a boat halfway across the world. Daniel's there. Let's say Daniel Coyes. He's there. You can target him. But then the manager's at fault. And it's like, let's take all our thing away from him and solely focus on getting this man out. So the man I really want out can hire another man to come in that will piss me off in 18 months when he's not backed by that man. And then I can go for this man again, so we can hire another manager. What do we do?
Brian, I think there's a bit of a difference on this one, mate.
Brian, but the difference is, Brian, is that Ange has come in, right? And we never went all in on Ange from the beginning. This has happened over a long period of time. And I raised the alarm bells when Ange started contradicting himself, right? And for me, what really done it was when Ange demanded that we change our mentality. And that's when I knew, hold on a minute, what do you mean that we need to change our mentality? If you don't understand that we don't want Arsenal to win, right, then what the fuck are you doing here? Right? Because you're not Spurs, right? Ange does not understand the fan base, right? And that's why I'm against him. Because he doesn't understand the fan base. He still thinks he's managing Scotland and Japan, right? And that his way will work, and it won't work, right? And another thing as well is Ange. I'm criticizing Ange because he's accepted this ownership model, right, and the way of managing the team under Levy, and his player identification is Levy-esque. Shit players coming in, players we've never heard of, right? And even when you compare the signings to what Levy's done in the past, it's even worse than what he's done in the past, right? And the reason why we're going down this model is because Levy's been burnt by Jose and Conte, right? So that's why I can't back him, Brian.
But
right?
this is the thing. I don't think he's been. I don't think he. This is the thing. This is the way I see it. He hasn't been burnt by Jose, and Jose came in. First of all, it was a 20-year vanity project, because he wanted him for so long. It's like, yes, I finally got my man. It's like Damio all over again, but a manager you can get because you got time. Daniel Levy has seen at very, 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 very close quarters. Jose Mourinho's MO is come in, spend hundreds of millions, win everything in sight, piss off. Jose Mourinho was never, ever, ever going to get the hundreds.
Brian.
Whoa, Eugene.
Brian,
Whoa. Was never going to get the hundreds of millions. Conte came in because he should have got Conte in the first time. Fucked up royally with season ticket renewals came in, and then all of a sudden the deal fell through. Went for every single manager. I was still part of this channel, and I was running a book that Dora the fucking Explorer is going to become our next manager because we're going through all the human managers available. So then he goes back. He gets Nuno, who we could have got all along. That screwed up. He had to go get Conte. Conte again. Hundreds of millions of pounds. He hired
Brian
on vanity.
Brian, right? He got burnt by Jose, right? Because he did spend hundreds of millions under Jose. I think he spent a couple of 100 million, right? But he didn't get Jose the players he wanted. And then just when Jose was at the cusp of winning something, right, he sacked him. What he should have done is let Jose win something and then sack him at the end of the season. But at least we got our stupid little fucking cup at the end of it. You know what I mean? Right? And I agree with you why he got in, I agree with you why he got in Conte. But again, with Conte, he did spend a lot of money. And again, he didn't get in the players he wanted. Right? I'm in agreement with you on that. I understand. He still got burnt by it because one, he had to spend hundreds of millions, and two, the fan base was unhappy. And that's why he feels he got burnt by it. And three, he had grown-ups telling him, "What are you doing? You bald prick," basically, right?
Hey.
And he didn't like that. And you got to remember, they're probably the only two managers we've ever had with the gravitas and the experience to tell him that, right?
Yeah.
Because they're hyper elite managers.
If you want to psychoanalyze this, right? Levy's ego, right, is so big, right? Until, right, imagine what he said in the fan forum, right? He didn't even say that the trophies were one of the most important things to him. You get what I'm saying? No? So his ego is so big, right? So it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't care about the trophies or the glory for the fans. All he wants is just the money.
We know that, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We all know that. But Brian, I think there's a bit of a difference with this manager. Yeah? I can't think of a manager that has been as much of a bitch as Ange. Now, this is where people have different sides in that, and it's something we've spoken about before. Is backing your club, backing your manager, backing your players. Well, what I call is backing is wanting them to win. I ain't got to like them. I ain't got to like what they do. I ain't got to like their history. I ain't got to agree with them. I ain't even got to want them at the club. But for me, backing someone is wanting them to win. If I don't want them to win, then I'm definitely not backing them. And I definitely want them out in that aspect. But Ange has been such a little bitch that people are really actually to dislike him. Not just the way he plays and everything and refuses to adapt and everything else, which was why I started disliking him. The fact that he has been Levy's little bitch and the fact that he's just blatantly just dug that hole from 6 foot to 12 foot now with what he's gone and said, people are actually starting to dislike him, not just the football. I can't think of another manager that has been such a little arse licker as he has. I honestly cannot think of one in the past, 6, 7 managers we've had.
Pochettino.
Poch, no, he would have only said so much and then just kept his mouth shut. Poch would not have gone and said the stuff that Ange has gone and said. Conte, 1,000,000% no. Jose, no. Uno, who knows? He didn't even really get a chance there, yeah? But he's managed to get it to the point now where people are just genuinely disliking him now because again, I'll say it again, because he's Levy's little bitch. And I want this player gone. I don't like his style. I don't like the way he is. I don't like his attitude anymore. I don't like the way he sucks off Levy. I don't like the way he just lies, or is he even lying? Does he believe it himself, but contradicts himself over and over again? Now, nobody wants it to be to the point where we have to sack and start all over again. Not many people do. I don't want it to be like that. But sometimes there is a point where it's got to be like that. But there's different reasons to it with Ange than there was to Conte, than there was to Poch, than there was to Jose. Yeah? It's like when you've got a virus. I don't know. whatever one you want to use, cold, flu, whatever. You stay indoors for a couple of weeks and wait for your body to kick it out and go away. Okay, yeah, you do. Okay, another 2 weeks down the line, we're talking a month, you've still got that bug. What do? Do you go to the doctor and sort it out, or do you think, stuff it, I'll give it another month and see if this gets worse or better? There's certain times, certain things where you do actually just have to be more of a man to walk away, where you just got to say, do you know what? Fuck it, it ain't worked again. No, we don't want to go through that system. But I think a lot of people can see, even though a lot of people also are just anging and blind to it, can see where this is going to go. And this is going to go down and down and down. And then a couple of good games and everyone's going to get a hard on over it. And then it's going to go down and down and down again. And he's going to get nowhere fast with his tactics. Blatantly says he ain't going to adapt. Blatantly says that he buys the players and that and picks them. And now with what Levy's gone and said, with what Brian said, Alex said, I didn't even know that bit. He's just put him under the bus even more. And yeah, I think it has just got to the point where people are starting to genuinely dislike him, Brian. Whereas Conte, people disliked him for different reasons. People disliked Jose for different reasons, but none of them disliked him because he's a little bitch.
Yes, but Dan, this is the problem we have. Listen, none of us have to like a manager personally. Some people go, oh, yeah, he looks like a great guy to go have a beer with or go have a cut, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if the guy's a bastard off the screen away from the football pitch. All I care about is what he does on the football pitch, whether he's a nice guy or bad, I don't care. But the thing is, like Matt said about being burnt with Jose and Conte in the way he was, if you think Daniel Levy, if we get rid of Ange, is going to go hire another manager that has a bit of clout, that won't take shit and will stand up to him,
he won't.
You're very much
mistaken.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's why I'm done.
I know
that's why I'm done.
Dan, I'm not saying that. This is the thing. People were saying they want someone in like him. Not you. I'm saying, and again, I would like someone like that. I'd love someone to come in and read him the app. I still say, if someone was to give, like Chief Daniel, my 3 best things that have happened at Spurs under his tenure, Carabao Cup, Antonio Conte's rant. I only need 2. That's the 2
the
great
point I'm making with this as well is the fact of that even if we do get another little bitch of a manager in, which we probably will do, because I can't see him ever going for a Conte or Jose again when they actually have the right basically to look down on Levy and say, how about you wind your neck in, boy? You ain't got a clue. You might have owned the club for 25 years, but you ain't done nothing like I've done. If we even had that little bitch manager in who could just play with the players he's got and wasn't so bloody stubborn, you'd have a lot of people not just sort of letting it go to an extent. I know the problem's at the top, but what do you do with that? And the lack of support you get for it, there's only so much you can bloody do or try to do. But if we had at least a manager who was willing to adapt, who looked even good enough to be a Premiership manager, it would keep a lot of people like me that bit more quiet. Just a bit more quiet. Whereas the fact he looks like he hasn't got a Scooby-Doo.
I'll tell you why he wouldn't keep you quiet, right? Because
I'm not saying totally quiet. I said a bit more quiet.
Ange has basically spat in all our faces, right? He has, right? You read his comments, right? He's basically spat in all our faces because all he needed to, every time he has an opportunity to be a little bit pragmatic, right? A little bit, say things a little bit between the lines, right? And keep the fans on the side. He hasn't. He's gone straight against us, right? He done it against when the Man City game when we needed them to win, so Arsenal didn't win the title, right? He even done it during the game when he called out that fan, going directly against the fans. He does it in today in the fan forum when the fans asking him, look, can we be a little bit more pragmatic, right? You know, and that's the fans pleading with him. Look, Ange, we're on board with what you're trying to do, but just work with us here. We just want to see a little bit better defending, a little bit more pragmatism in the play. And he's like, fuck you, mate. I'll do it the way I want to do it. Right?
Yeah.
to me, he's disrespecting the fan base, right? I can't get on board with that.
Can I bring in Matt here a minute? Because he's been sitting there patiently waiting to speak. He's disappeared as soon as I was about to bring him in. Well done, Matt. Great timing.
Commentator's curse.
Unbelievable. Do you know what? I will reply to this though. Ilmatic says Conte definitely hated Spurs and the fans. He felt it was too good for us. What I will say is he was too good for us. By a country mile, he was too good for us. So, Eugene, can I finish what I'm saying? Sorry, bro. For me, I personally think he was too good for us. He's won shitloads more than us, and his standards are higher than what Levy's are. And as for Conte hated the fans, yeah, because we turned on him. We instead of standing behind him, we turned against him, and effectively we defended Levy. So I totally agree with what Conte did. And it's funny because when he left Spurs, that speech he gave, pretty much every Spurs fan said, yeah, true. It's all true what he said. So it's weird how he hated someone that was the most honest ever with us. Matt, you all right?
Is he in your bed? Is he in your study or something? He looks like he's got a... He looks like he's got Palmer's Green broadband.
Yeah, Matt, go for it.
He's got Snell Wi-Fi.
He's definitely
30-second delay.
He's like doing a Spurs version TV watch along.
Matt, when you hear this, just speak. Say what you want.
He's typing
something. All right. But still, I'll go back to it, right?
It's like the moon landing, isn't it? It's like, are you there, right? Astronauts?
Yeah. Okay, Stan, you were saying about Conte, right? Remember, right? Before even Conte could do anything, right? The seeds of Conte out was planted. Think about it, right? That's why the fan base couldn't get behind him. They were saying that his football is dull, pragmatic. We ain't attacking enough. But what Matt was saying is correct. I enjoy Conte ball more than I enjoy Ange ball now. But unless the next 5 to 10 games, right, Ange, our attacking scores a shite load of goals, right, and we look really good, then I'll still be waiting. Right?
Eugene, I disagree. I disagree. When Conte came out and said, Spence isn't my signing, it's a club signing, he told every single fan what's going on at the club.
I know.
Right. At that point, you, me, Brian, Dan, Maz, everyone in the chat, you had a choice. Do you demand that the managers be backed, or do you turn against the manager because he's not doing as he's told? And the majority of Spurs fans chose to turn against him. So if I was him, I'd call a sickie. I'd say, fuck you too.
No, I don't say. Still, remember, right? That was during the World Cup season, right? When the World Cup started,
it's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with fans accepting what happened. No. Nothing to do. But you're going on a tangent that's not related to what happened.
No, but we went 1.5 months, right? When Conte didn't sign the contract, right? Why didn't our fan base think that things weren't right?
We did. Well, we did, Eugene.
We did.
Everyone else. Yeah, but the thing is,
Conte out.
But hold on, Maz,
the fans were singing his name in the stadium even till the very end because they knew deep down. They knew. On
this channel, I remember I said either Daniel Levy. This was in December, 3-4 months before Conte left. I said on this channel, either Daniel Levy sacks Conte immediately because he's not renewing a contract. Therefore, you can't go and invest big money in January and back him, or plan for the summer window if you don't know who the manager's going to be. So he can't. The chairman cannot allow the club to be in that situation. That's his job. This is Levy's job. So he must sack Daniel Levy. Levy must sack Conte, so that there's a plan in place, because this plan doesn't work without the manager staying longer than the contract which was about to expire. Or how do we know that Levy has offered Conte an extension? How do you know Levy was offered? Levy did offer Conte a new contract, because we didn't know. We were just all guessing. So then the alternative is you back Conte knowing that he is going to stay. But what happened is we did nothing, and the silence was deafening. And what did and I said it on the show, and fans turned against Conte.
Yeah, and guess who we brought in the January transfer window? Dan Juma, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because at that point we knew the board weren't going to back the manager because the contract wasn't sorted. So they brought in a cheap, quick fix that was going to leave by the end of the season.
I actually think Dan Juma was brought in because they actually thought Porro was going to close or fail, and they couldn't go another window without signing anyone. So we went and hijacked Everton like a hyena looking for scraps in the knuckle.
Everton.
That's my personal take on it. Just a quick one to non-existent Bolo, whoever you are. Apparently, I'm a sellout. Yes, okay. That's what I go by. I'm a sellout. Yes, well done. I've sold my soul. Played that. Well done.
No, and the worst part is, right, Brian, remember when Conte came in after Nuno, right? The fan base was saying, "Oh, this is the last straw." Remember that, right? This is the last straw for BBL.
Pochettino, buddy. Stella and I have seen it. It's Pochettino. It's his last chance. Jose's the last chance. Then after Jose, Nuno, oh my God, I can't believe it. No. Conte, that's the last chance. And now Ange is the last chance.
We must accept it, right? There's never going to be a last chance. He's going to be there forever unless we step up, wake up, and do something about it.
Fans aren't going to do it. I told you, Look, they are so
like I said,
hell-bent on fitting in, being part of the community, trying to get a job on Sky Sports, Super Chats. Listen, what has killed us is social media, because social media has now created this world where everyone wants to be a part of, like I've just explained, this new media world. That's AFTV have created a fan media world. And people want a piece of that because now fans can make money from being a fan, not a coach, not a manager, not a player, but a fan. You can make money by being a fan, and then the ego kicks in because you want to be the most popular fan. So you got to get on Sky Sports, you got to get on TalkSport, you got to get on this podcast, on that channel, and those people that run these platforms, they're going to push out the narrative they want so they can fit in to that hierarchy that they want to get to. And this is why we were not. And Spurs fans are most culpable. We're the most culpable.
What? Put my
people hate me for saying this, but no one can prove me wrong.
Right? Eugene, hold on. Let me just speak to Stel. Right? I'm going to put my business hat on. What social media has done is it's enabled. Matt, can you just mute yourself because you're.
I have.
What social media has done, right? And what I'm talking about is like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, predominantly. It's enabled people to move away from the mainstream media and advertisers, right? So in the past, you needed to either pay a newspaper to put your advert in there or ring up a radio station to get access to advertising, right? And you didn't have access to various corporations and individuals like you do nowadays. Social media has broken down all those barriers. So now you can effectively set up a business, right, and reach an audience immediately, right? And you're not relying on these companies to facilitate and advertise for you, right? If we take that context into what's happened with football, right, and you're right, AFTV created a business model whereby fans can create a business quickly, have access to paying fans through YouTube subscriptions, chat, what they're called, super chats, right, Patreon, etc., right? And Tottenham have identified that and said, right, we're going to create our own market and ecosystem and reward the channels that push our narrative.
All channels have done. All clubs have done this, man.
Exactly. I know they've all done it, right? But specifically for Spurs, we're going to reward the channels that push our narrative, right? Because that way we could control what the messaging is and what the news cycle is, right? Of course they're going to do that. And it's an extension of what they used to do with the journalists, right? They'll have their own special journalists that they'll feed information to in terms of transfer policy, etc., and access to managers and players. So in today's world now, the way that you would have to break out of this, right, is saying my morality is above and my love for the club is above making money. But a lot of the channels don't think like that, because they're not putting the love of the club before the money, but they're effectively putting their YouTube careers ahead of the love for the club, and that's where it's massively wrong. And this is where the massive divide is.
Let me tell you something, right? This is, again, I told you all how Michael Bridge told me that he wasn't allowed to be on a show where it was Levy out, Enoch out, couldn't say it. So therefore, any show that wants to get journalists on, you've got to be careful what you say, because the journalists, the media representatives, they won't come on those shows. So you know already the conversation has been dumbed down. Henry Wright, a year or 2 years ago, he was offered to be bought out by AFTV. Okay, they wanted him to be part of the group, so they'd take a stake or he'd be a regular on there. And this is when he was growing. He was told that he has to be positive, though, right? And then when he got into that circle, they told him that if you want to make it in this game, you can't be doing all this Levy out, Enoch out business. I don't know how more simple it is to put it to people how it works. If you want to be up there, you must bend to some degree. You must. You're allowed to touch the conversation. You're allowed to dabble in it, but you can't be consistent with it, because otherwise, see you later. You will be cut off. You will not be allowed in that cartel. That's how it works.
Yeah. I just want to answer Ravin.
Look at Maz. Look at Lee Gunner. Look at Lee Gunner. He's hated.
Yeah.
But
I just want to answer Ravin Ragu. He says, "Oh, Maz, is this a conspiracy theory? Can you give me more information, because this is concerning?" It's not a conspiracy theory. This is how business and marketing works. This is how corporate communication works. This is what big companies do. I know that because I've worked for massive companies worldwide. I know what they do. I know how these companies market. I know how advertisers work. So this is not conspiratorial. This is how companies operate, and Tottenham are operating in this fashion.
No, it's just controlling the media, right? Come on, the whole world now, right? The mainstream media is controlling everything. So that is what you call the mainstream media. Like us, right? Come on, Stel, I've been doing this for 3 years plus, right? And I don't pander to anybody. I do my own shows, right? But of course, when I come on to your show or Dan's show, I'll be a bit more controversial. I'll shout out stupid things and all that. But I'm still Levy out. My message out there now is, right, the focus is on Levy. But the thing is that with mainstream media, the hype that goes with it and the privileges that is being given, that's where you say, am I going to sell out? Stellism, right? Brian is doing his own thing. Brian is getting the message out to that group of people that will understand what's happening. And they will see it day by day, right? Because it's reality. You can't miss it. But unless we win something, right, then it will change the whole narrative, right? But until then, right, we're going to grind. As simple as that. Like I'm saying, I'm zen about this. Unless we find a way, right, to actually get Levy out, right? Like now, we know Lewis is dormant. He needs to sell his shares soon.
Eugene, we're not going to get him out. We're not going to get him out.
No, but we have to try.
We're not going to sell nothing soon, Eugene. What's he got to sell soon?
Until listen, I promise you this. Until the fan channels, the YouTube, the podcast, everyone says enough's enough, it won't change, because that's where a lot of the noise stems from. Even if you haven't got a YouTube channel, some of these big Twitter accounts like Spurs Web, and ones like that, unless they publicly turn, it won't work. is so difficult. So all we can do, look, I agree, Eugene. Don't give up. We keep doing it, but they are problematic because they are part of this group. And just very quickly, I know you like to troll me all the time. I've sent you the link in the chat. Come on with your camera. Otherwise, you're a pussy. Okay.
I'll tell you what. Does Matt get an appearance fee? Sorry, Stel. Go on.
I've given up with Matt tonight, and I've told you as well. We've got a fan show tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Come on. Otherwise, like I've said, you're just a coward. Sammy, I didn't call out Henry Wright. Don't do that. I explained what happened to Henry, how he was offered a deal, but in order for that deal to go through, he would have to be positive. Yes, you're right. On his channel, he's Ange out. But on his new channel, where he just promotes Arsenal, which gets more views, more likes, and makes him more money, is he Ange out there or is he positive Arsenal? That's the point I'm trying to make. So don't try and make out I'm calling him out. I'm telling you what's actually happening. Not calling him out because I know what happened. He told me.
Yeah, we all need to make a living, right, Stel?
There he is.
Let Matt talk now. Now he's on. He's tried about 58 times.
Yeah. Thanks for the invite, Stel. It's really Maz I wanted to it's kind of talk about. I mean, you seem really affected by the forum and the comments and so forth, and I think we're all Spurs fans here, and it's interesting to kind of hear your thoughts about it. And I think, was you surprised by the comments?
No, I wasn't surprised by the comments, but hearing the truth hurts, even though you know the truth. And I found it incredibly disrespectful to me and others, as Spurs fans. I saw it as a public, fuck you to the fan base. Now, a lot of people might not read it that way. A lot of people might think, you're over reading it, conspiracy theories and all of that. But there's history of this, and I think there's sound logic to it. Levy as a prime example. Your top 3 greatest achievements. I mean, all these amazing players that have played with us. Really, is that your achievement? If that is your greatest achievement, then why haven't you signed world-class players then? I mean, you signed Rafael van der Vaart. Okay, you're lucky with Bale. No one knew he was going to be a worldwide superstar, and you lucked out with Kane. No one thought Kane was going to be as good as he was. No one did, right? But and Modric turned out to be a worldwide superstar, right? But again, we never signed him as a worldwide superstar. So it's
we signed him on potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And for him not to say, oh, my greatest achievement was winning a cup with Spurs. I mean, we're in professional sport. We're in the most elite league in the world, supposedly, right? How can winning a cup in this division not mean something to you?
But Maz, idiots will go and say it live on chats and their channels, whatever. I'm sure there's ones out there who do it, and they will just push it aside because we probably ain't going to get it, and then just focus on something that we definitely ain't going to get, and then make it an excuse for Levy, basically. But we can't get to that because of Man City, because of Liverpool, because of Arsenal.
Absolutely.
Like I said, that will state that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's for me, it's a step too far now. Like there's one thing. I guess I felt it a little bit as well during the Super Cup when they referred to us as legacy fans, because me in my, I can see where they're going with labeling the fans legacy fans, because from a business perspective, they're looking at, right, how are we going to tap up the young, or how are we going to, not tap up, it's the wrong word, how are we going to engage the younger audience that's more numerous than our older legacy audience that physically goes to the ground, then, and how are we going to then tap into various markets worldwide, right? Hence why they've separated the groups, legacy fans and whatever they're called, the younger fan base worldwide. As that for me was the start of it, because you can see where they're going with this. And again, without going to repeat everything, but Jose and Conte and what happened with those guys, and everything being so predictable. And then you have a manager that comes in post those managers, and he accepts this structure and the way we operate, and toes the party line effectively.
When
right?
he's meant to be a serial winner.
Which is meant to be a serial winner. It's almost like the politics, like the collective responsibility, type thing, right? Toes the party line, right? And exactly, and it was all so predictable, and for him to come out and say, I'm gonna not be pragmatic. I mean, who think about it? Forget about football. Who comes out and says, "Oh yeah, I know about pragmatism, but I'm not going to be pragmatic"? I mean, have you ever heard anyone in the real world say, "Oh, forget about pragmatism"? But who does that? I mean, we're not on a trading floor where you're like, a big shot trader and you're throwing millions, and if you lose millions, oh well, I've got millions to throw down. I mean,
do you know what the biggest issue, Maz? Do you know the biggest issue with this? Matt, I want you to speak on this because you've hardly spoken. Do you know the biggest issue with this is now? If we don't beat Man United and we don't beat Brighton, or we lose both games, it's going to be hell to pay on social. It's going to be hell to pay. And you know how it's going to go. They're going to just draw up all these comments. But it doesn't matter that we lost because trophies don't matter. But Ange says it's all right not to be pragmatic. This is the Spurs way. And it's just going to spiral and spiral and spiral. He has to now win those games, in my opinion. Otherwise, I can just see this becoming a complete clusterfuck for all fans. And it's just going to be even more argumentative. Yeah, Matt, what did you think about it all?
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised in the slightest. I think Daniel Levy has been, the one thing about Daniel Levy is he's been consistent in his reign as the owner, chairman, whatever title you want to call him. He's been consistent. I think he's got lucky with some managers. I think in his wildest dreams, he didn't expect Pochettino to do as well as he did. And I think the moment Pochettino started to ask for a higher level of player, that's when he signed his own P45. When he kind of worked in the medium range footballer, he served his purpose. But once he realised that I've now got Dembele and I've now got Kyle Walker and Danny Rose, and I just need a few more magicians and we can really win the title. And he was looking at your Bruno Fernandes's and he was looking at your Jack Grealish's. That was his P45. So I think that's why I asked Maz the question, because Daniel Levy is Daniel Levy. He has rhino skin. He is absolutely immune to the situation, because you imagine, and this is what I said in the comments earlier, Stel, he's masterminded taking Tottenham over and has not put a penny in himself. He tried twice before in two consortiums to take over Spurs, and Sugar rejected it. He then got in with Enoch and Joe Lewis, and on the third attempt, they took over Tottenham. and then he's then allowed, or Enix allowed him to buy a percentage of Tottenham. They put the money in, and then he drip fed the money back to. So he's absolutely, in 20-something years, he's on top of the hill. He's on top of the pile. So we're going to need dynamite to get Daniel Levy out. So I'm not surprised in the slightest with his comments. He has less than zero interest in winning trophies. He just wants Tottenham at that table. That's all. Not at the head of the table. He just wants them at the table, just to be
Top
in
four.
the conversation.
Top
Just
four.
in the conversation. In the conversation. That's all he's interested in. And his main focus, if you read his sentence, he says he's looking for outside investment because he's got some exciting projects and also the squad. So, you know, if he gets 100 million, you know, 10 million of that will go towards the squad, and the 90 million will go on hotels, supermarkets, whatever else he wants to build his real estate dynasty. So I wasn't in the slightest a little bit surprised with Maz, because I thought you'd sussed Levy out. Nothing Levy says or does affects my opinion on Daniel Levy.
Matt, you've missed the point. It's not Levy. I understand exactly what Levy is. He has not taught me anything new. The reason why I'm affected by it is purely from the love of the club and him just effectively sticking two fingers up at the fan base more publicly than he's ever done before.
Yeah,
but he's in
the
a position
manager
now.
and the manager being lock and step with him, doing the same thing.
Matt, what's your thoughts on Ange's comments?
Yeah, but Matt, before you go ahead,
no,
right,
Eugene,
Matt,
I want Matt to answer this question, because Matt's been a big defender of Ange. Now, Ange has said, I'll repeat to you what he said, so we can all refresh our heads.
Before you do that, I need to go. So
all right, we're going to wrap up soon anyway. So, but yeah, Brian,
but I just want to answer to
Eugene. Let Brian say goodbye.
Okay, guys, listen, everyone in the chat, everyone in the comments, everyone on the screen, love you all loads. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, Levy out.
But Matt, I want to answer to your just now your statement, right? The dynamite, right? You were saying, right, to blow up Levy, right? It's the fan base. But the problem is, right, we are not a dynamite now. But sooner or later, but while this continue, right? Still, you got to say what you got to say. What I'm going to say is that the fan base is the dynamite. If we can get enough, we can blow Levy up.
Not literally, by the way.
Metaphorically.
Remove him. He's right. Eugene's right. If we get enough numbers, we can make his position untenable, which is what I've always said is the only way we're going to do it. Yeah, but Ange Postecoglou, he was asked about how is it time to be more pragmatic in certain games? Teams that win trophies had solid defenses as well as attacks. And Ange said, you're spot on, but that's not us. As much as I want success, there's a Spurs way, and I won't deviate from it.
Again, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised in that sentence by Ange. I think let's see how the next couple of results go. Let's see how let's see if he's still on that hill with that General Custer stance. If the results start to go south, I would imagine he will start to tweak it.
Yeah, but Matt, if he does, then he's basically just gone and contradicted himself again.
Yes,
but he already tweaked it against Brentford.
But I would imagine, Dan, that if you look at most managers of the last 20, 25 years, I'm sure their fan base will be able to point out where they've said one thing and done something different.
Not as much as this man has. Come on, be real. Not as much as he has.
He has specifically said, hold on a minute. He has specifically said to someone that's asked him about, you've got to focus on the defense. You've got to be pragmatic in certain games. if you want to win trophies. So a manager that said to us he's going to challenge for the league, he always wins trophies in his second season. A manager that's made it his hill to die on that he wins trophies, when he's asked about trophies and the requirement to be defensive in certain games, his response to that was spot on, but not us. As long as we play the Spurs way, that's all that matters.
That's all I care about.
He's completely contradicted everything he's been saying for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, go back to last season where Højbjerg, he pretty much said he's not his profile of player. And then when results started to go a bit suspect, he reintroduced Højbjerg back into the team. So there's always going to be examples where he's contradicting himself. I don't agree, just to say, I don't agree. I definitely think that you have to, horses for courses. You've got to pick teams to win that individual football match. You cannot, especially when you don't have the best squad in the league, you cannot play this you shoot, we shoot philosophy over a 38-game season when you don't have the best players, you know? So I 100% don't agree with that sentence. But I'm not taking him word for word on that, because he showed me last season where I thought Højbjerg won't touch the ball for Spurs again. When results started to go shaky in the second half of the season, Højbjerg started playing more than he didn't. So I think he's been cute there with that sentence.
Matt, on that though, it was blatantly going wrong last season for a majority of it, for about 3/4 of it after the first 10 games. And after about 15 games, 16 games, if I remember right, give or take a game, people even pulled him out on it, on like, are you actually going to sort out your set pieces because this ain't working, i.e. everyone's zonal marking. And he turned around and said, like, nah, that's a minor, bruv. That's a minor. Don't worry about that. And he didn't do nothing until about the 36th game. And then when he can blatantly see it's not working in other bits, like the defence so pushed up and both inverted wing backs. Okay, last game, Udogie didn't invert as much. Well bloody done, mate. And he's still done nothing. I'm struggling where he's going to go.
Look,
like, is he really going to change it?
I'll never understand Dan Emerson Royal playing at left back. I'll never understand that. I'll never understand him signing Timo Werner twice. You know, again, I'm sure if you get Chelsea fans on here or you get Aston Villa fans on here, they'll probably give you examples of where their manager has done something that the fans can't understand. I remember when we played Aston Villa at Villa and we beat them 4-0 and he changed the system for the game. And all my friends who were Villa fans all week were going, what the fuck did he change the system for that game? So managers sometimes will do things that you don't expect or you don't agree with. I'm not bailing him out here. What I'm saying is I don't believe he will be that defiant if Tottenham, okay, yes, we won the weekend, but if Tottenham go on and, three defeats in 4 matches and he's still going to be on the hill saying, we're going to play this expansive, open, you shoot, we shoot football.
Matt, he's too stuck up his own arse and he's got no bloody experience in the top league. I mean, the man is so far stuck up his own arse, he can smell yesterday's dinner, for God's sake. And he knows no other way, basically. It's obvious. He has been in minor leagues, no matter how offensive that is to people, in leagues that are rated lower than the USA League, for God's sake. And he comes storming into the Premiership thinking, right, this is how I've done it with Celtic. This is how I've done it with others. Okay, fair enough. My tactics might work. They blatantly ain't worked, mate. And I think us finishing 5th as well was not a good thing now, because it was another thing like us getting to that Champions League final that puts wallpaper over the cracks on the wall. And the reason we did get 5th place, we could have got 4th place if he would have adapted some of his tactics earlier. And other teams were just playing that shit. We know there was other teams playing terrible last season. And he just ain't... I don't think he's got it in him. Not to change it to an extent that he can take every team, every game by right. got to tweak this bit and this bit because I'm playing against that team and that team. Nobody says you've got to change your whole system. Maybe for 1 or 2 games, like Arsenal did with us, like Arsenal did with Man City. And what did it do? It worked. I'm not saying every game, but literally every time. There's certain games where you'll say, right, he's dangerous, double up on him. Whereas you usually wouldn't have your midfielder and your wing back doubling up on the player. But there's certain games like where you're playing against a player like Salah or whatever, just an example, where you say, yeah, double up on that man. He don't do it.
Look, I think
Ben Davis out on the left with bloody Salah, for God's sake.
Matt, have the last say, but then I have to wrap it up because I'm already late for where I'm supposed to be. This was only meant to be an hour show, and it's gone 2.5 hours. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I know that feeling.
But yeah, Matt, go on. You have your say, and then we'll call it night.
Yeah, look, Dan, I understand the theory that we take him at his word. He's said that in the press conference. He said that in the fans forum, so we take him at his word. But I just think he's been a little bit cute in some of the things he says, which ends up contradicting himself. There was a famous Harry Redknapp interview when he was a Spurs manager, and it was when the reporter asked him any truth on Jermaine Defoe coming back to Spurs. This after Defoe had gone to Portsmouth, and Redknapp stopped the reporter in his tracks and says, I don't know where you've got that from. That's, fake news. I don't know where you've got that story from. And the reporter kind of really got embarrassed. Anyway, at the end of the press conference, the guy's putting all his laptop away, putting his mic away, and Jermaine Defoe gets out of a chauffeur-driven car to do his medical. So the reporter looked at Harry Redknapp, and Harry Redknapp winks and said, "Don't believe everything I tell you." So managers can always be a little bit cute, a little bit poker face, and some of the stuff he says.
A bit, but not as much bullshit as he's come out with.
Look, I get it, Dan, and look, I'm never going to be a person to ask somebody to not think what they think, and I appreciate your Ange out. So, it's almost your mind's made up and that's your gift, and I've got no problem with that. But for me,
he can change it if I see him adapt and get his act together, and I'll put my hands up and say I've got it wrong. But I don't think it's going to happen.
What I would ask you, Dan, and I know we're wrapping up, but
yeah, I do need to wrap it up. I'm going to be in a lot of trouble in about 1 minute,
30 seconds. Okay,
yeah, let's just wrap up.
Yeah, there is no CV for a manager to have success at Spurs. And when I mean by success at Spurs is winning the big trophies. Once you get to that realization, I think you look at Spurs slightly differently. And that's my realization. Spurs.
That's why I'm zen about it.
Pardon?
That's why I'm zen about it, right? It doesn't matter anymore.
Yes, Spurs can't win big trophies under this regime. Once you realize that, you look at things differently.
And
let's end it on that.
On that note, thank you to artists, thank you to a user, thank you to Tweak, new channel member. Appreciate you so much. Thank you to Eugene, to Dan, to Maz, to Matthew, to Box Office, to Sava, to Daigle, to Dietrich, who all came on tonight. Yes, Eugene.
I'm 24 subscribers from 550. Get me there, please. Yeah.
We need 24 subscribers to follow Spurs Way. Make sure you go like, subscribe to his channel, get him to the number he's looking for. Make sure you follow Hotspur Hood, Dan's channel, on the way to 4K, Sava on the way to 14K. Make sure you follow these guys, Tottenham on tour, everyone in the house. Guys, thanks for watching as always. We'll be back tomorrow. And to all the dweebs that keep coming for me, posting horrible bullshit messages, come on the show tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., have your camera on and talk. Let's see what you want to debate with me. Otherwise, you're all cowards. It's that simple. The show is there for you. I don't want people to come on who agree with me. Come on and have your say. If we disagree, let's do it. All right. On that note, guys, we're out of here. Take care. Good night. God bless. Levy out. Enoch out. Always out.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.